Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat. The show is about to begin.
Presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon. Joined as always by my wildly handsome co-host, John Luke Garofalo. Our friend Coop with us, a.k.a. Coop A. Fiasco. Welcome in and good morning, everyone. This is the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. Today is Friday, January 20th, 2023, and it is Divisional Round Eve. We got Divisional Round games tomorrow. I'm your host, Simon, joined, as always, by my incredibly handsome co-host, John Luke Garofalo. What's up, JL?
What up? Good
Look
morning,
at that handsome
Simon.
face.
Look at that handsome face. It's like staring in a mirror.
That's the best compliment you can give me, that I look like you. You got any cool plans this weekend, JL, since it's Friday?
Nah, just going to see my best friend.
Yeehaw!
Woo!
Coming down to the Yeehaw State. Coming to
down
Texas
to
this weekend.
Texas.
We're gonna do all sorts of Texas things, like wear cowboy hats and wear cowboy boots, and we're gonna say Yeehaw. What did you ask?
So can we be big? Like Texas?
Oh, I thought you just meant like are we big boys now? And I was
Big
like,
boy.
oh, we are gonna do big boy stuff. We might even have a beer, maybe one. I don't know if it gets crazy.
Shinerbach.
Oh,
Not
some
a
Texas.
sponsor.
Look at you knowing your Texas beers.
Hey man, before you moved down there, I was down there a lot.
If you want the Busch Light of Texas, we can get some Lone Star.
Lone Star. Can't go wrong with Lone Star.
That's the beer of Texas, right
Busch
there.
Latte of Texas. Get some tacos.
Oh, of
Play
course.
some board games.
And we will play so many board games. I got a brand new board game that Leanne and I trialed the other night, and I'm excited to play with you guys. And the best part is we can play competitively in teams against each other. We can also play as a group trying to get a high score in a cooperative mode. So if it gets a little feisty.
It's a little overcookedy.
Well, and if we're being honest, I was picturing this the wrong way. I was thinking if it gets a little feisty playing cooperatively, we can then switch to competitive to get some of that out. If we get sick and tired of working together, we'll split up the teams. Like, I'm not on your team anymore.
What up, Coop?
What's up, guys? What are we talking about?
Good morning. Talking about board games.
And jousting.
Nice.
And jousting, yeah.
I was just
You were jousted?
jousting with my parents' dog, Uncle Rudy, who is staying with us.
Uncle Rudes.
That's the thing about Uncle Rudes, and that's the thing about dogs, is that you think that they would all be very similar, but sometimes they could be very different.
That's true. Rootin' and tootin'.
I was on the phone with what's up, Coop?
I was just going to say, Big Uncle Rudes has a different routine than my little baby Lufa.
Baby Lufa.
Uncle Rudes and Baby Lufa.
That's
I
the
love
way
you,
that
Baby
held me
Lufa.
up a little bit today, so sorry about that.
It's all good, Coop. It's all good.
Very cool.
I was
Hey,
talking to Jail yesterday while watching my dogs outside, and we park our two cars in the driveway back to back, right? And there's my dog, and then we're watching my girlfriend's brother's dog for a while. He's been with us for like 4 or 5 months while her brother's out of the country. But these two dogs, the other dog's much older than my dog and much slower, but also much smarter than my dog. And so my dog doesn't realize you can cut in between the two cars and is sprinting laps around them. And Max will try to keep up. But then every 3 laps, he's like, oh, I'm too far behind and you're too fast. And he cuts through the middle, and it scares the absolute mess out of Sancho every time. When he rounds that corner and Max is standing there waiting for him, he jumps in the air and turns around and books it the other way. And then Max is standing there waiting for him after 2 more laps, and it freaks him. I could watch it for hours.
I cannot wait.
Has Sancho figured the move out yet, or is it still surprising every time?
Not yet. Either he hasn't figured it out yet, or he thinks it's fun, so he just lets him keep doing it. But one of the two, he has not figured out that middle of the car move yet.
It scares him every time.
It's
It's not even like he hasn't figured it out. It genuinely scares him each time.
He's like, how the hell did you get here?
Like he forgot.
It's a high level dog move. It's
He's
a high
not,
level
the
high
dog
brightest, he's not the brightest dog, but he's cute and sweet.
Oh, I love Sancho. I'm so excited to see him.
Prepare your legs.
With
He's
no
a leg,
context, that means nothing.
you're right. He's a leg walker between her. And if your legs are not open to walk between, he will nudge them open with his nose.
It's my favorite personality quirk of his.
And I know
you're just walking, he just like forces your legs open mid walk.
Then
careful on the stairs.
Luckily, we have no stairs here. That's a requirement for our houses. Guys, it is that time of morning. Not quite for breakfast. First, for a tasty rhyme from our friend Tommy in the chat. Tommy's over here and says, can't wait for tomorrow. Football is back. The games look great. And man, I am jacked. Boys from Dallas, Niners from the Bay, Birds from Philly. Will the G-men steal the day? Joe Cool versus the Mafia. Trevor versus Mahomie. Need some advice. Hoping you bestow me. Who do you like? Where do they rank? Time for FYF to make us some bank.
Bank.
Yeet.
Cha-ching.
We got Maria over here saying good morning. What's up, Maria? Good morning.
Let's and speaking of what Tommy's talking about here, let's quickly rank the remaining quarterbacks. It's a pretty interesting concept here. In terms of, do you want to do in terms of fantasy or just how good they are?
Let's just do how good they are.
Okay. Number 1 is
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Do you agree, JL? There's some names that are in consideration, I think. I think Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts could be in consideration.
I agree with the Patrick Mahomes take.
It's
for me though, he's always been above Josh Allen still. And I know a lot of people made that switch this past offseason. I think maybe we'll see a little switch back or a little bit of move back to the other side of the spectrum with how well he's playing this year.
Yeah, call me old school, but I think it's the throwing that I like. So
Josh Allen's good. He's good. I think he's above Jalen Hurts in this list. I think he's the clear number 2.
I figured we would go that way, so I was going to frame this question in a way that makes it more difficult this early hour. Are you ready? So
yeah,
Mahomes. I think we all agree that Josh Allen's 2. So here's how I'm going to phrase this question: is Jalen Hurts in that tier with those guys?
No. Are we talking fantasy? Or are we talking NFL?
NFL.
No.
Yeah, I think so as well. Simon, do you think Jalen Hurts is the next guy? I mean, there's some other options there.
I think there's 3 names that it's between. Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, and Brock Purdy. I'm just kidding about Brock.
But maybe not.
We'll see how this weekend goes.
I need to see one more quarter before I'm convinced.
Yeah. I think there's debate to be had in between Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow and who is the better quarterback.
I think it's Joe Burrow from an NFL perspective. And I think that is, to me, very, very clear because it really does come down to the passing.
I always get nervous with the runners, right?
With the runners. Is that because of injury, you're saying?
I'm saying that injury, sustainability, you know what I mean? It's like...
But even taking that out of it, I think it's just such an incredible, like truly incredible passer. Ever since college, I mean, he's been like that. He's just insanely good. And I don't think Jalen Hurts is quite that level.
No, I know. In terms of passer, there's no question. And again, like we've seen it with some of these mobile quarterbacks where, wear and tear catches up. And also when teams get film on you and they kind of figure out what you're doing, it can catch up with you. I mean, Cam Newton pretty quickly went to MVP caliber to a guy that was kind of figured out. So I do think it's probably a little more sustainable there. So we have Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts. And then I think personally, Trevor Lawrence got to be next. I'll take that burden off you guys as Clemson
and
fans.
I think he could jump up this list a couple spots this time next year. And I know he's already pretty high on it, but I think as of right now, this is a good spot for him, but he's on the move up alert.
Yeah.
He's on the move. He's on the move up alert, especially because of his age. That's what happens a lot, especially in Dynasty, is like,
what could he be?
Because he's 23.
A bird.
Right? Yeah. It's like if he's at least even, age is the great tiebreaker. Right? And that happens in real life too, where it's like, you're picking between 2 guys. You go with you guys do it right. I'm trying I'm trying to have a very serious takeover here, and you guys are playing Duck Hunt.
No. Trevor Lawrence Bird Hunt.
Trevor Lawrence Bird Hunt, dude. Who would, if in the game of Trevor Lawrence Bird Hunt, who would be the dog? Travis Etienne. All right. Now so we got Trevor Lawrence next. We have Mahomes 1, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence. That leaves
Dak Prescott, Daniel
Dak
Jones,
Prescott.
and Brock the Purd Master.
Yeah, I got to go Dak next personally.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear Dak.
And
and
now here's what I want to know is, are we about to disrespect Daniel Jones for a guy who's only played 5 games?
I've already disrespected Daniel Jones quite a bit this week on Twitter.
So I can't tell if what you're saying is I'm going to disrespect him more or I've disrespected him enough.
I don't know, man. The situation with Daniel Jones is so interesting because people forget that the 5th-year option, you have to decide on it a year before, but this regime was already in place. They were the ones that decided to not pick that up. So how far have they flipped here after he threw 15 touchdown passes? I don't know. Where are you guys at? Purdy or Daniel Jones?
I think I still have to lean Daniel Jones
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I don't think it is particularly that far away. I think Brock Purdy is capable of reaching that level. Currently, I don't think he's there yet.
Yeah.
My balls are not as big as Brock's, so I can't put him in that spot yet. If I had balls as big as Brock Purdy, I'd have him up.
You'd have the world.
Have him at 1.
Have the world. I need a new desk chair.
I need a lot of things.
One with a hole in the bottom.
Sancho wouldn't be able to go through your legs.
Boing. You just ricochet backwards.
So for now,
a concussion.
For now, we'll put Daniel Jones ahead, but these rankings are subject to change at any moment, just like everyone's rankings are whenever Daniel Jones wins 1 game versus the Giants, and now he's a franchise quarterback. So
that would be incredible if he won a game versus the Giants this year.
He won a game versus the Vikings. It
feels like last year he won a lot of games against the Giants.
You're right. We got some people in the chat ready for the show this morning. Albert in here saying good morning, everyone. Good morning, Albert.
Good morning.
And we got Craig in here as well. And Craig said, speaking of breakfast, you know how some people stop drinking alcohol cold turkey? I did that with coffee almost a month ago. Haven't had caffeine at all in that time.
Good for you,
That is
Craig.
tough to kick cold turkey. That's awesome, Craig. Maria saying congrats to Craig as well on that one.
I know people have talked about how bad cutting coffee can be. I've never had an issue. I don't know what it is, but I've never had any sort of withdrawal or anything. I could just stop it and start drinking it again with really no issue.
And this is a great lesson in why you can't just use your own personal experiences to determine empathy towards others, because
100%.
everybody, especially in stuff dealing with mental things like addiction and things like that, it's different. Everyone handles it different. So JL, and I know you are that way, but you still got empathy towards others because you're not basing it on your experience.
It sounds like you're saying that, leading me to that answer.
No.
And you are a good boy, right?
No, I know. I'm not leading you at all. I know that's what you're doing. I'm just talking in generals here. You led me to that point.
We led each other.
We all led each other on this blessed day. And where did we end up? At breakfast, baby. I hope you brought something to eat. It is that time of morning. Grab your English muffin, grab your biscuits, grab your tortillas. It is time for breakfast. We got the stories. We got the topics. You just got to bring a little bite to eat. John Luke, you bring anything for breakfast this morning?
No, I'm running late. I didn't have time. I got nothing. I'm empty-handed. I'm so thirsty.
I ran so late that I have my breakfast with me. Usually I eat it beforehand, but it's a bagel.
Oh,
those dang dogs!
You brought your own breakfast.
The dang dogs! I brought some breakfast. We could talk about. I got a couple things. One, we could talk about something kind of funny first, or we could start talking about some not so funny stuff.
How funny is it?
It's all right.
Let's go for it.
You convinced me.
So that's all I needed to hear.
Giants guard Nick Gates on talking about Philadelphia, and we've talked about Philadelphia on this show before. We've talked about how they threw snowballs at Santa Claus. They threw batteries at JD Drew. I've seen, guys walking out of that stadium in Tony Romo jerseys, just covered in ketchup and mustard. Phillies fans are wild. They had to grease the poles when they won the Super Bowl because people would climb up the light poles and cause all sorts of havoc. Giants guard Nick Gates said this about playing in Philadelphia. One year, I saw a 6-year-old kid giving me the double bird with his dad, sitting right next to him with the proudest look on his face. Where else does that happen? I'll never forget that as the funniest thing ever.
Raising them right young. They're installing that Philly sports culture in them from a young age.
Really early.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense though.
Yeah, they give the kids the AAA, the little AAA batteries to throw because they're
and a giant full can of Busch Latte.
That was actually a school assignment that he was doing. He had to get a photograph of it taken to bring back to school to show. It was like a cultural experience in Philadelphia.
Right. And the teacher, he got an A+.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Now, the sad stuff I wanted to talk about is we have more firings trickling in. That's how it goes in this league. The most recent one I saw, the Vikings have fired the defensive coordinator.
Fired.
Ed Donatil, fired.
You fired, Ed.
Yeah,
Ed, get out of here.
Another opening for Ed.
On Ed.
And again, next one.
Sense.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Scott Fish what he thinks. That one makes sense. He didn't their defense. I mean, there were so many games that they had won if the defense just did something, right? Including this last one.
And the season could have gone. They were unbelievable in one-score games this year, right? You flip those this season, very easily could have been different.
True.
Very easily could have been different for those Vikings over there.
Yeah.
Coach.
So that's a tough one. Well, we'll see. Kevin O'Connell, that's the way it goes a lot of times with these coaches that skew one way versus the other. You saw it in Miami where Brian Flores was the defensive coach. And when he took over that team, every year for like 3 straight years, it was a different offensive coordinator. He had what he wanted to do with the defense. That was all set. He wanted to figure out what he wanted to do with the offense. They tried Shane Gailey. They tried a couple different guys. That could likely happen here with Kevin O'Connell, where Kevin O'Connell, very offensive-minded guy, came from the Rams as their offensive coordinator. That's all set. They might rotate through a couple defensive coordinators until they find out what they want to do on that side. It happens. Growing pains with these new teams. And it's better to make that move now than to sit with a guy that stinks for multiple years, right? Find the guy early.
Figure it out. I see Jolly Rancher in the chat saying, howdy doody, FYF. Howdy doody, Mom.
Howdy.
Welcome in. Glad to have you here. Coop, there was another coach. I don't want to say fired because the team didn't say fired, but it was announced that the Ravens and offensive coordinator Greg Roman are parting ways. It was officially released and they're releasing Greg Roman to pursue other opportunities. Doesn't have the same ring.
Yeah,
the
opportunity to not work here anymore.
My favorite was in the release that they made, in the official release that they made. They talked about all of the things that he did in Baltimore. He set these all-time records, including the NFL record for rushing yards in a season, rushing yards by a quarterback in a season, average time of possession, most games in a season with over 200 rushing yards, and most consecutive games with over 100 rushing yards. And it was the first in NFL history, an offense under him, to have 3 700-yard rushers in consecutive seasons.
Yeah, blah, blah.
All I'm seeing there, Coop, is they're listing them as positives. That's exactly why he got fired.
Just
you know what I mean?
The ball every play. Yeah.
Exactly. These accomplishments that they're listing for him, like, yes, it's impressive, but it got old, man. Like, who cares if you have the best rushing offense in the world if that's all you have is just the rushing offense?
I got a bunch of accomplishments for him. Least passes to the running back. Most useless snaps for a fullback. Most useless tight end blocking snaps for Nick Boyle. Most disappointing fantasy football wide receivers. Those are the accomplishments that I have for Greg Roman. Setback Frank Gore's, back when he was on the 49ers, setback Frank Gore's Hall of Fame trajectory by 4 years. There you go. Those are the accomplishments for Greg Roman. Didn't finish inside. He only finished inside the top 4 teams. Sorry. He only finished outside the bottom 4 teams in pass attempts one time from now going all the way back to the 49ers. So when he was with the Ravens, when he was with the Bills, when he was with the 49ers. Like, this guy should go somewhere and be the best run game coordinator in the league. That's what he should do.
Yeah. I mean, from what I'm reading, like, people talking about this guy, they talk about his scheming being some of the best in the league whenever it comes to scheming the run. But then his play calling is just absolutely abysmal. I hate the words that start with like is it scheme? Like,
I could tell in how you hesitated right after you started to say like scheming. Like you had You had to swallow something you did not want to.
Feel every syllable of that one.
Scheming. You always add that extra scheme instead of just scheme.
Scheme.
There you go.
Scheme doesn't sound right. Scheme sounds like the name of some like
got a scheme.
Like, what's up, guys? My name's Scheme. Welcome to my Twitch stream. Today we're playing Roblox. Are we gonna win a lot of money? I don't know.
You're listening to Scheme and the Hoglets.
Scheme
and the Hoglets. Oh man, that was pretty good, Simon. You could definitely be a game streamer.
You could definitely be a terrible
Gen Z icon.
Yeah. A TikTok master, a Twitch. You could definitely get banned from Twitch. I could see you getting banned from Twitch.
Oh, that's easy. You just got to show your feet.
What is that? What is that with Twitch streamers? Like, I never hear anything about them until they've been banned from the Twitch. Twitch seems to just ban people left and right. Is that not what's going down over there?
We're still on there.
People. They ban people pretty.
You're on there
pretty actively. There's always some Twitch streamer drama in that community with people getting banned, people doing different things.
They banned my boy Dr. Disrespect the 2-time back to back.
We got Craig in here saying the Vikings also changed defensive base scheme for the first time in a long time. That can make it difficult on some holdover players to adapt. So a new defensive scheme can make it a little bit difficult for those players to adapt. And then Craig also said Greg hasn't updated to the current NFL. His scheme goes back to the Romans. There was a kid at my high school that on Decades Day, whenever it was the 80s, he came to school in a toga and said he was from the original 80s and had this like smart ass smirk on his face all day where everyone else is wearing like wigs and sunglasses and peace signs. And he's like, oh, I thought it was the original 80s. And he's dressed like a Roman.
Oh my God, what a dude.
Idiot.
That's kind of cool for like a second.
Yeah, but not if you're smug about it.
Yeah, so yeah, they changed. So Donatel, I have a spreadsheet where I keep all these schemes here. And the notes I had last was that Ed Donatel would run the Vic Fangio's 3-4. So Vic Fangio, obviously defensive mastermind. So he's changing it from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Kind of similar. It's kind of the opposite of what Robert Saleh did for the Jets. And Craig's right. That can be difficult to have success there because obviously, it takes more turnover than 1 year. So it is kind of surprising, but obviously they didn't like what they saw. So somebody else is going to have to come in and I imagine they're going to keep going in that direction, running the 3-4 instead of 4-3. Be crazy to try and change back now. So we'll see who they bring in.
We'll see. I saw a report from Dov Kleiman yesterday about the Jets. And he said after a 10-3 loss to the Patriots midseason, the Jets locker room rejoiced that the team decided to bench quarterback Zach Wilson in favor of journeyman Mike White. When Wilson replaced White weeks later, multiple teammates openly grumbled in meetings per Zach Blatt. They are just piling it on Zach Wilson. It must be like a slow news day up in New York, New Jersey. And they thought, I know what's a hit. Let's just put out a scathing report of Zach Wilson, of the most hated man in New York.
He used grumble and rejoice there.
Makes it sound like his name is Zach Black.
No, Blatt, Blatt.
Oh man, I was like, what a cool name to have.
Makes it sound like they're all sitting around like rabble, 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 rabble. And then once they benched him, everyone was like, huzzah!
and then they brought him back in. Rabble, rabble,
rabble, rabble. Huzzah! Let us rejoice.
Mike White has come to save us.
Mike,
the White Knight. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that just seems pretty mean. And the thing is, guys can turn this stuff around. People forget that, Geno Smith at one point himself within that Jets locker room was a guy that people said had questionable character and attitude. He even got punched in the face by one of his teammates, right? Like knocked out, injured to the point where he couldn't play. Like we've seen it before where guys have attitude issues. Phillip Rivers, like for I mean, I don't ever think he stopped having attitude issues. Like which I love. You know, I love the mic'd up where he's just like giving it back to fans. You know what I mean? And talking trash to players, refs, but you know, he had kind of a wholesome trash talk about him, right?
A little bit. No, but I'm with you.
Some of it was nasty. My favorite clip of his. I'll see if Keith might be able to find it. Where after a Thursday night game, they asked him about it, and he was like, Thursday. He's wearing like snake boots and a bolo tie. He's like, Thursday night football. He's like, what out there is better in this world than hanging out and playing a little football with 53 of your best good buddies? And I was just like, this guy, dude. This guy is a character. He's a cartoon character,
life, man. Like he's got it all, but it's all about ball, and that's it.
You're 53, your best good buddies. I wonder what he's doing these days. Why isn't he behind the microphone? That's my question.
Philip Rivers. Maybe they don't trust him behind a microphone.
Yeah,
he's got too many kids to be behind a microphone, right? Like he's made his money. Tommy Downey saying, dude has like 17 kids. Yeah, he's just got to go be a dad, I think, at this point in his career.
That's true. He's got a lot of dad to do. A lot of dad
duties.
Yeah. Good for him.
I do think they should stop piling on Zach Wilson. Like he's a young quarterback. We have to remember he's also only 23, right? Like he's fairly young for a quarterback in this league. He still has that early draft capital. The talent's still there. Hopefully he gets another chance with another team, but I don't think it's going to work here in New York.
Right. Yeah. What are you going to do, man? But and again, like it could turn into one of those things where he goes like Ryan Tannehill goes somewhere else, has a decent amount of success. You never know. He's there's a reason they drafted him that high, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll see. I wanted to circle back on the Greg Roman thing because I did see something else that was interesting. I should have brought it up at the time. But did you see the reports that Lamar Jackson is going to be involved in the hiring of an offensive coordinator?
I did see that.
Now,
which, given the current landscape of Lamar Jackson's deal, was comforting for me. Like, I want him to end up back in Baltimore. That's my gut reaction, is that he'll end up there. But all the other evidence that we've been seeing has been pointing he won't be in Baltimore. And then Harbaugh comes out with this quote saying Lamar Jackson will have a huge role in picking our next offensive coordinator.
I was thinking about that. Like, if I was the GM, I'd be like, hey, could you like shut up? You know, I'm trying to negotiate with this guy, and you're spilling the beans that like he's going to pick the coordinator. Like, if he's involved in picking the coordinator, that's pretty much, that tells you that he's going to be there. And it tells Lamar Jackson's camp, like, well, let's keep pushing for the most money possible because, you know, it sounds like they've already decided that they're going to keep me. You know, it blows your cover negotiating. They gave up the black swan. So I don't know. Or maybe they'll just have him pick the coordinator for whoever the next QB is.
That's what we were talking about yesterday. It would be funny if they said that and still let him walk, and their intention was Lamar Jackson on a new team gets to pick the new offensive coordinator for the Ravens.
Yeah. There you go, dude.
I know you're on the way out, but what do you think? What do you think about this hire? Yeah, I think he'd be great. I think you should just bring Greg Roman back, actually.
To bring him to the Jets.
Who do you think they're gonna? Do you think they're gonna bring in someone who is more known for their passing game here? Or do you think they're still going to bring in a run first kind of guy, but maybe someone who can bring a more balanced approach? Because this team likely does still want to run first, I imagine.
That seems to be what teams do oftentimes, is that they say, hey, thanks for setting this up for us. We'll keep that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not too hard to just keep those instances.
He designed the plays already. They have the scheme that Greg Roman was using.
Right. Now, the problem you run into is that you also have to find unless you want to do a complete overhaul, you also have to find a coach from a similar coaching tree, or that just runs, because they run a West Coast offense, right? And a lot of 12 personnel, really fullback heavy stuff. It's like you can't just bring in Josh McDaniel because he runs a completely different offense with the Erhard Perkins system. It's literally different words. It's different languages. Right. Like that was the problem that Stafford had with Matt Patricia, is he had to change the language that they spoke. It's different. You could be calling the same play and it's like speaking Spanish versus English. So I would imagine they're going to look for a West Coast guy. I don't know what kind of options are out there, but maybe Nathaniel Hackett even is a guy that could come in.
Mr. Hackett, welcome back.
Yeah. I mean, people are like, everyone on Twitter is just like, yeah, you couldn't possibly hire this guy. Yeah, you can. Like, he's not a good head coach, but that doesn't mean he can't be a good coordinator.
I think people confuse that all the time. They see a lack of success as a head coach and they go, that's a bad coach. No, that's a bad head coach.
Like, you never know. Like, if like Brian Flores, I would hire him for sure to be a defensive coordinator. I would hire Bill.
I don't have any defensive coordinator openings right now, but if I did, I'd hire him for sure.
You're at the house. I got 2 dogs here, dude. Defensive coordinator's a lot of work.
Oh, my defensive coordinators are my 2 dogs.
That's right. I would bring back, as a Patriots fan, I'd bring back Bill O'Brien. Like, I look at what Bill O'Brien did, and he was a great. He was part of that offensive coaching staff from 2007 to 2011. Like, 2007 Patriots offense might be the best offense of all time, right? Tom Brady threw 50 touchdown passes. Randy Moss had caught 23, which is an NFL record, and they went undefeated until the very last game. Like, and he was the offensive coordinator in 2011 when they went to the Super Bowl, lost to the Giants again, and then he went to the Texans and brought them to the playoffs a couple times. It was him as a GM that was the real problem. So Bill O'Brien. I would bring him back in an instant to call plays for the Patriots. So anybody out there, don't dismiss these coordinator options that failed as head coaches, except for Urban Myers. Yeah, Adam Gase. Dude, Adam Gase is the absolute devil for tight ends.
He said the absolute devil.
He is the devil
for tight ends.
For tight ends. He has tight ends for some reason block on one of every 4 or 5 pass plays, no matter what. He had Mike Gesicki blocking on 17% of the pass plays. Like, it's a terrible offense, in my opinion. Hate it.
Awful. It looks like Keith has found the Phillip Rivers clip that you were talking about, Coop. Keith, can we go ahead and roll that Rivers clip?
I do. I would have hoped that after 10 years that people would have figured it out. I just like to play football. And when I think Antonio Gates gets held, I get a little excited and say they're holding him.
Yes.
But it's all just in the will to want to win and help us win. But where else would you want to be on a Thursday night in Denver, Colorado, playing the Denver Broncos with your favorite 53 buddies? It's awesome.
With your favorite 53 buddies. Where'd you want to be on a Thursday night but Denver, Colorado, playing football with your 53 buddies?
Yeah, that was the clip that changed my opinion on Rivers, because they asked him, because they showed earlier that somebody that like he said, Antonio Gates got held and he was flipping out. He was flipping out. And when I was watching that game, I was like, this guy's an asshole. He's a crybaby. And then after the game, listening to him talk about it, that was finally the day that I was like, you know what? He just cares a whole lot, like maybe a little too much. So
he's intense, man. He's intense. That's why he's not in the broadcast booth. I couldn't watch 3 hours of him calling a game. I couldn't do it.
Sideline reporter. That's where he would thrive.
You're right.
Get him down there.
Give me a minute. Give me 30 seconds of him and then cut away for an hour. And then give me 30 seconds of him. He'd be perfect for it.
Weatherman, right? Down there, storm. He's like, it's raining cats and dogs down here.
The only problem with Phillip Rivers on the sideline is I feel like at a certain point he'd just run onto the field. He couldn't help it.
Yeah.
To play football. He'd be like, I'm in. Run out there, push the quarterback to the ground, grab the ball, and just start trying to run a play.
It definitely
shoves Daniel Jones to the ground and stands behind center.
There'd definitely be situations where they couldn't find him for those, because he's like John with fans.
Just fighting with him, or all of a sudden they see a new guy, a new pretty tall guy in a jersey, and they're like, I don't recognize that guy. Who is it? Phillip Rivers hiding under a helmet he found in the locker room.
Yeah, classic Phil.
Andy Reid was asked yesterday about his thoughts on playing a game next season in Germany. Did you see this, Coop?
What was it?
Andy Reid was asked yesterday about his thoughts on playing a game next season in Germany. It was announced the Chiefs are going to be in Germany. He said, I look forward to getting a bratwurst. Was all he had to say about playing a game in Germany.
Classic, bro. Andy Reid, man, he's just living. He's just living.
No matter where you put him, he's going to find a way to get mustard in that stash.
Gonna get mustard up in there, dude.
He can do it in any country. It doesn't matter if it's a hot dog, a glizzy, a bratwurst, chicken dog, a vegan kebab. I don't know. Whatever it is, he's going to get mustard in his mustache.
So is it Patriots? I'm assuming they only have one game, so it's Patriots against the Chiefs?
No, I think there's 2 games.
Okay, so those are
3
home games
in London, and they have not announced the opponents yet, if I remember correctly.
So I imagine those are going to count as home games for those teams.
Right. Those will be the home teams. Those are the teams that are playing in London, in Germany. They announced the London teams as well, and they have not announced the opponents, if I'm remembering correctly.
Okay, that makes sense. That's cool.
But you're going to go out there regardless?
Me and my buddies were kind of already planning on going out to Germany, a little boys trip. So if we can swing it for that football game, put it this way: we were planning on going out there. If we're going out there this year, it will be with tickets to that game. And if it doesn't work out, we can't get tickets to that game, we're not going to go this year because I'm not going
to play.
I want them to play. I don't want them to play any of the division teams over there because I don't want that to count as our home game. You know, you lose an away game. I hope they play one of the other random AFC teams. I gotta check out who the Patriots play next year.
I was gonna say I forget that's a loaded question unless you've got the scheduling for next year in front of you.
Yeah, we don't have the schedule, but we do know what teams play who.
It goes cyclically how the NFL schedule determines it, right?
Yeah, it'd be cool if it was like the Jaguars. That would be awesome. We play the.
Though the Jags are playing in London, so I doubt they're going to put them as an away game in Germany.
That's true. That would rule out the Chiefs, Titans, and Bills too, which are pretty much most of the cool teams. Maybe the Chargers then. They're going to play them.
That could be fun.
Yeah, that'd be chill.
That would be litty.
So here's what they got, as the kids say. They're playing the home games are the Bills, Colts, Commanders, Chargers, Chiefs, Dolphins, Eagles, Saints, and Jets. So assuming that counts as one of their
Eagles
would be good. Eagles or Chargers. I think those would be the most fun.
I feel like in a Patriots-Eagles game would be very. I feel like these offenses run a little different than some of the other offenses in the league. Like the Eagles are that run-heavy offense. The Patriots run the we don't care if it's entertaining. We're just trying to win football games offense. And throw that game in Germany sounds like fun. And Tommy said patriotic. Yeah, send the Eagles and the Patriots over there. Wasn't even trying to do that.
Just send the Eagles and Patriots over to Europe. Back-to-back World War champs.
Boo. Boo, Coop.
USA.
Boo, Coop.
USA.
Was that on a t-shirt at a Spencer's Gifts during spring break in 2009?
USA. Yeah, Gardner Minshew definitely has one of those sleeves removed.
But he's evolved. That was his old Gardner Minshew, college Gardner Minshew. Now it's all about the tie-dye.
Yeah, truly. And he wears it well. Yeah,
I also saw a quote from go ahead, Coop.
I was gonna say, did you see that they announced the coaches / I don't even know what they are, the captains of the Pro Bowl game?
Yeah, the going with the Manning brothers. It's beautiful.
But did you see who their partners were?
I did.
Peyton Manning and Snoop Dogg versus Pete Davidson and Eli Manning. What team you on?
Oh God, that's so tough because it's Snoop over Pete, but it's Eli over Peyton.
Yeah, Snoop.
I think I go with Eli and Pete. I think they're going to put together something weird over there. Both of those guys, there's something off about each of them, and I'm excited to see them together coaching a game.
Pete Davidson, man, you got to give it to him. He just keeps pulling hot chicks. He's the king.
Coop, here's what you need to come to terms with, and I did it. Recognize that he is hot. Don't argue that he's not, because
that's true.
Like for a while, I was like, no, he's not. No, he is hot. And what needs to change is my perception of that. Because for a long time, I was like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, who am I to argue with it? I think objectively at this point, Pete Davidson's hot. Just look at the evidence.
Look at the track record.
He's a sexy man, clearly.
I've come to terms with it.
So I need to figure out what about him is sexy. I'm trying to figure it out.
He's tall.
He's funny as hell.
He's tall. He's funny. He's cool. I mean, yeah. I mean, the math checks out. The math checks out. That's why I didn't disparage him. I said he keeps pulling odd checks, which is awesome.
Dustin in here saying, "Good morning, muchachos."
Morning, Dustin.
What's up, Dustin?
Let me get my muchacho hat.
Tommy said pride of Staten Island, except they hate him on Staten Island.
Do they?
Well, yeah, because he said some awful things about that place that were jokes that I'm not going to repeat. But jokes nonetheless. But they're not big fans of Pete over there.
Sounds about right.
Who you got, Coop? You got Pete and Eli, or are you taking Snoop and Peyton?
Yeah, I gotta take Pete and Eli. Snoop and Peyton are awesome, but they're kind of like they're a little too chalk for me. They're a little too popular. They're too easy to pick. I'm going with the underdogs here, and I truly believe that both Pete and, as much as I love Snoop and Peyton, that I think Pete and Eli are funnier. So got to go with them.
I do. I think they're funny. How about Snoop and Pete versus Peyton and Eli? That's what I want to see. Just put the Manning brothers on the team.
That's what, yeah.
Snoop Dogg and Pete Davidson on a team and call it a day.
The Snoop and Pete Davidson team would be too powerful. That's the problem.
We got Craig over here saying, I heard JL was the Pete Davidson of Clemson. Yeah, that's 100% true.
That's true, dude. Pulling all the archery chicks and the bowling chicks. Couldn't stop him. You couldn't stop him. He's a force.
I saw a quote from Kenny Pickett yesterday on Tomlin shit talking. He said, he's pretty good, man. You just don't want to end up in that team meeting when you see yourself up on tape and he starts circling you with the laser. You're like, shit. You know something's coming, man. But he's awesome.
Yeah. The team meetings, even going back to playing in high school, like if you know you screwed up, you'd be dreading those meetings and the film just to watch that play where it's just like, you know you're going to get it. You're going to hear it. It's the worst. The worst.
There's like that they clearly have some like fearful respect of him. Know what I mean? Where they don't want that level of ire coming from him, but it's all grounded in respect, it seems like, towards Mike Tomlin. You know what I mean? Like they respect that man, so he can circle you on the thing and shit talk you in front of the entire team because they trust and respect that dude. If you're a coach that the players don't trust and respect, you think they're going to say that after you circle them and berate their play in front of the entire team? No, they're going to turn on you so quick. But if you've earned that trust and respect from your players, you got the right to do that. You can do that in front of everybody.
Yeah. Apparently, even when he was like 40 years old, Belichick used to do that to Brady. He would just absolutely like crush him in film sessions in front of everybody. Like just no, he didn't get any special treatment.
I would be so uncomfortable sitting in a room while Tom Brady, as a grown-ass man, got berated for his play. Like, I would not want to be sitting next to him in that room.
No chance, dude. It would be like watching mommy and daddy fight.
Except it's Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
Yeah. They used to.
Please.
Yeah. There's a good quote that I saw on that, dude. Let's see if I can find it out.
On mommy and daddy fighting?
I gotta find the exact quote from Bill that was like that he just like crushed Brady. I'll see if I can find it during the next break.
While you're finding that, Tommy said, Impractical Jokers went to my high school in Staten Island. Wu-Tang grew up down the block from me. Interesting childhood. And then the crossover between Wu-Tang and Impractical Jokers, that crossover episode. What's up, JL?
What up? So
you're mostly back.
I found the quote.
Halfway back.
And now you're fully back.
I found.
Yo, which side are you taking in the Pro Bowl flag football game? Are you taking Peyton and Snoop or Eli and Pete Davidson?
I wish they would have put Eli with Snoop. I'll go with Peyton and Snoop. That'll be a funnier combo.
Yeah. We'll see.
We both went Pete and Eli.
Pete and Eli has the highest ceiling, but definitely has the lowest floor.
That's fair. That's
could just be so weird. I found the quote that I was thinking about was Andrew Hawkins was with the Patriots briefly, and he was like, "You think about it the entire practice too. Like, oh, don't mess up, or you're gonna end up on Bill Tube." I guess that's what they call it. And he goes, "And you know who gets it worst? The worst? Tom Brady. And oh boy, does he get pissed." The exact quote one time was, "Defense, safeties. I told you." You need to be off the hashes in cover 2. Luckily, we don't have a quarterback. And this is him yelling at Andrew Hawkins. He was yelling at a cornerback and just kind of strays are coming at Brady. Defense, safeties, I told you need to be off the hash in cover 2. Luckily, we don't have a quarterback on this team who can hit the broadside of a barn. Otherwise, this would have been a touchdown. And that was Tom Brady. He was talking about it. And it was his 15th year in the league.
He said He said, luckily, we don't have a quarterback that could even hit the broad side of the barn while talking about Tom Brady. And they're not even directly to him, just throwing haymakers at him while not even looking him in the eyes.
Crushing other players, and Brady's catching strays. Like he said that Brady would get it worse than anybody else, which, hey, maybe that's how you keep everybody sharp.
Maybe that's why Brady's still playing. Maybe Brady needs to go talk to someone about that. Like Bill Belichick might have harmed that man a little bit. Just berating him for 15
Emotional
years in team
abuse.
meetings. Exactly. Saw another report in here that I thought was interesting about one Jeff Saturday. So Jordan Schultz was reporting that Colts owner Jim Irsay believes Jeff Saturday has the capabilities to be a head coach. That's why Saturday's in this position and why Indianapolis might deliberate and take their time with a decision. They're saying Jeff Saturday would pick his own staff, which he relayed in his interview with the team. Do you guys think there's any chance the Colts actually bring in Jeff Saturday full-time as their head coach? Take away that interim tag, hire him on?
They interviewed him yesterday. I put on Twitter, quote tweet of, because the Colts tweeted out, "We have completed our interview with Jeff Saturday." So I put the gif of Michael Scott going, I declare bankruptcy.
I'm just going to start tweeting things. I have completed eating breakfast.
I have completed my meeting with Simon.
I have completed sleeping for the evening.
After the show, let's interview Keith to see if he's going to stay on as producer.
I have completed.
I have completed my interview with producer Keith.
He's fired again.
Yeah.
Dustin said, of course there is a chance because Irsay is a madman. Oh, and speaking of that, there was another Irsay report that I wanted to talk about. Where is it? Where can I find it? Oh,
I know what it is. Yeah.
It was Josh McDaniels' wife made him pull the plug on the Colts job offer after having Irsay in their home in Massachusetts and observing his odd behavior that included being in the McDaniels family bathroom for a very long and awkward period of time. So Josh McDaniels' wife had him pull out of the Colts job because Jim Irsay took too long to poop in their house.
We're doing something else.
I like to think that Irsay was in there just playing Candy Crush.
Just got lost.
Yeah, just balling out. He's just,
doing lines and playing Candy Crush in the McDaniels family bathroom.
His legs are falling asleep. He's just like, come on, one more level.
got that white noise in his leg.
Yeah, I don't know.
He spends $89.99 on power-ups while he's in there as well.
No doubt in my mind that Jim Irsay is a weird dude. No doubt.
Yeah.
Spending that much time in the bathroom at somebody's house, like what could possibly be happening? What could possibly be going through his head?
I think
is
there's
he
a couple
concerned?
things.
Is he like, oh no, they're going to think I'm weird?
Reading the back of the shampoo bottle.
I think there's the just dilly-dallyer who he has got no self-awareness that he's in someone else's house. And so he just takes his time like he would at home. There could be a true bathroom emergency. Okay. It happens. Let's not pretend like it doesn't happen. And sometimes you can't control that you're at someone else's house. 3,
of course,
drugs. He could be doing drugs in their bathroom. That is another option. 4,
right.
Sex stuff. He could be doing sex stuff in their bathroom. That's another option. 5, maybe he read something interesting. So there's some harmless ones. There's some less harmless ones, and there's some in the middle ones. But most of them a little weird, at least, to do in somebody else's bathroom.
Maybe he fell asleep.
They just falls asleep on the toilet.
Let's say that you're in the situation. You're at this person's house, having dinner with them and their wife. For whatever reason, let's say it's a poop emergency. You're in there, poop emergency. You take 25 minutes. When you walk out, what do you say?
What's the relationship? It's the same relationship.
Similar to Irsay or.
Sorry, I fell asleep.
I say, oh, Miss McDaniels, that pot roast ran straight through me. You sure know how to clean a man out.
Flowing like a Midwestern saloon.
That's definitely the very last thing you say.
Oh, okay. Let me try again.
Immediately point to the right reason.
Let me try again. Okay. Do not go in there.
I just say sorry. I was taking a phone call. Sorry, we're taking a phone call. Because the thing is,
on the toilet.
Because what are they going to say?
Sorry, I was pushing some works off a bridge.
Are they going to be like, has some works on a bridge? Are they going to say, oh, we were listening to you in the bathroom, and we know you didn't take a phone call. Of course they're not. So just say, yeah, I take a phone call. I had an email. I'm back. What did I miss?
I'm back.
Oh, I thought you said my back. You just start going, I didn't take a phone call. I had an email. My back.
Email.
What I missed?
My back hurts. Had an email. What's happening?
My neck.
You coming for the Colts or what? You guys coming to Indianapolis or what? I mean, like,
in or are you out? And you go to shake their hand. There's still a little bit of brown on your finger.
I think the weirdest behavior here is by her just telling people that. Like, it seems weird. Like, why not just say, yeah, we didn't. There's no need to be like, oh yeah, well, we didn't take the job because the guy was pooping like forever.
You have no idea how many jobs I've lost like that, though. And it would be nice if they would just tell me, like, I know that's the reason. I get it. I was at the interview for a while. But they just wouldn't let me know.
I just think I think it's funny. I would 100, like, everyone should release details like this about funny encounters.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. Yeah. Every Harbaugh interview with a recruit should be fully reported on.
Right.
It's just wild to imagine. Like, this is somebody's real life. That Colts owner, Jim Irsay, showed up at their house, took way too long of a poop, and they said, I can't work for that man. I just can't do it. And they left. They fully, like, that's someone's real life experience that they had. People are wild, man. People
I bet you they didn't say anything to him. And then Mike McDaniel was like, yeah, I'm not coming to Indianapolis. He's like, what? What? I just had dinner. We just broke bread. You're not going to come?
He just left a note in the bathroom for him. It's you, not me.
Yeah.
On the toilet paper.
You broke my bread, then you broke my heart.
You broke my bread, then you broke
You broke my damn pipes, man. I don't know what you're doing down there, you're saying. The part of the story that we're missing is after Irsay left, they walked into the bathroom and there's a full, like, water spout geyser coming out of the hole in the ground where the toilet used to be, just spraying shit water all over the bathroom.
To his driver's like, come on.
Let's go. And you can see there's a roll of paper towels and some Windex where, like, he tried to clean it up. He was like, I'll just wipe this off right here.
He walks to his car, but he still refuses to open his own door. Yeah. So he waits for the driver to catch up.
So Jim Irsay actually released a statement on the situation. According to Colts Wire, he said, it was like that when I got in there.
He's trying to blame Mrs. McDaniel.
It must have been the person before me. Just the three in the meeting did.
Man, you made a stinker in the bathroom. I didn't use the bathroom. Oh, yes, you did.
Hard to tell who to believe on that one.
I fully believe Jim Irsay over the McDaniels in this situation. I want to hear everything he has to say about it. I now want an interview with him, knowing exactly what it is.
I think we should get to the bottom of this. I think everything should be put on hold until this is sorted out.
We'll figure it out. Guys, coming up, we are going to talk through these divisional round matchups. Saturday matchups coming up first. We're going to play some fantasy feud, then some hypothetically as well. We'll talk about those Sunday divisional round matchups too. Right now, you're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Call, chat, and enter contests in real time. It's Sports Talk 3.0 with Better Sports Network. Moose and Keith.
Because I never asked you this. When Noah was growing up, when did Noah first where you got a sense that this is what my son wanted to do?
I was really busy during his formative years. I didn't meet Noah until he was about 19. Nice. So,
your wife did a good job.
Yeah, you may want to talk to your wife. I would say about 13, he started showing a legitimate interest. He started getting curious about how I prepared, what it required. And then I saw a little bit of a shift, 14, 15, where he was concentrating on the on-cameras, the interaction between play-by-play and analyst, and started probably taking mental notes at that point of the performance aspect of, okay, you do all this prep, but you got to go out and deliver it. So yeah, probably that 14, 15 range, I thought to myself, this could be something he really wants to do.
Front Yard Fantasy, weekday mornings at 7 Eastern on Better Sports Network.
You don't need to be like right 100% of the time.
No, there was a tweet about the refs that had me kind of cracking up the other day because somebody was like, we have the technology to like, track the ball down to a centimeter and figure out, what speed these guys are running on the field. Yet somehow we still mark the ball by
That's my favorite.
a 60-year-old dude eyeballing it, and then we run over with literal chains and measure it. It's like, you think we can probably get that figured out.
The least precise way to measure something, and then like immediately following that up with a super precise way of measuring something.
Yeah, it's like we have satellite.
Like if you're a millimeter short of that chain that they bring out there, that they ran out it as best they could in a straight line. But if you first they just go here, and then they grab the chains and they run in the straightest line possible. But then if you are 1 millimeter short with that football, it doesn't count. Sorry, couldn't have been human error. You're just short.
That's exactly. And they bring out the index card or whatever. Meanwhile, they have satellites in space tracking how fast Brandon Ayuk ran on an end around. But we can't.
And I can see that number live while he's doing it. Like I can see every player's speed on the screen live.
I love that. It's and not to mention that dude's trying to make the spot, and the player always tosses the ball right into his face. Right, he's coming over to spot it, and it's like every other time the player's just like, "Here you go. Here's another thing to juggle."
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Is it me, Ray, or is the only publicity that Microsoft Surface has gotten out of their whole thing on the sideline is people throwing them to the ground in anger? Is that just a me thing? Or the only time I hear about this device, Ray, is when somebody is chucking it on the ground, just pissed off at it, which I get it. All of us are in that world. We love to do that. Only in the NFL, Ray, can they get away with it because these are free. There's no cost. It's part of the sponsorship. Here's 5,000 Microsoft tablets to get you through the NFL season, and these players, right, just slamming them down. It's like they've become Dilbert on the sideline, and they're so frustrated. They're just the only publicity this company and this product has gotten is negative.
Better Sports Network. It's sports talk done better.
My mic was live, wasn't it?
Oh,
My mic
yes,
was
it
live.
was.
It was so live.
100%
What's up,
live.
everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. I just pulled a Joey. The first time that happened, when Joey's just going pow, 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 I was like, I lost it. I absolutely lost it.
That's the best.
Now here I am doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, we got some divisional round matchups this weekend, kicking us off on Saturday with some killer games, the Jags and the Chiefs, the Giants and the Eagles. And if you guys are craving some of that fantasy action, you missed out on our first playoff contest. Before we start talking about this game, I want to let you guys know we got another playoff challenge starting this weekend. It starts tomorrow, so it's not too late to get your lineups in. We have a new NFL playoff challenge on RT Sports. You can find the link right below me here or at bettersports.com, sponsored by our friends over at Lucra. Set a lineup, have the best score at the end of the playoffs. You are going to win an autographed NFL jersey of your choice and appear here on Better Sports Network. We'll be singing your praises, asking you how you managed to craft the winning lineup. So while we're talking here, start thinking about which players you want to sneak in there as the divisional round gets started.
Get them in there. Also,
Sneak 'em in.
You get the opportunity to come on our show, but if you feel like coming on the show today, guess what? Just call in. You can join the games, hang out with us.
What?
We don't mind. Yeah, we don't mind people calling in. We've had plenty of guys calling, Dustin, Joey. It's a good time. So call in, hang out. If you just EJ, if you just have a quick take, you want to get out there, call us. We'll put you on the air. We don't care, dude. We just fired Keith.
We have self-respect.
Keith is fired. Tony's running the show. The thing is, we keep firing Keith, but then we're too lazy to hire somebody else by the end of the day. So we have to hire him back for tomorrow. But he's been fired for the rest of the day. So if you want to call in, chat with us, call in. If you don't, hit that fun button. Hang in the chat. We'll be hanging.
If you want Keith's job, send us your resume.
You can have it, dude. You don't even.
Guys, I got to tell you, we gotta start being careful with this Keith talk because my mom is now the number one
Pro Keith.
Number one Keith fan. She loves Keith.
She's cheaping that Keith.
She had no introduction to this man, and then he had to go and put together that incredibly sweet 100th episode video and reach out to my family. And now my mom's like, "Oh, he is so sweet and talented."
See what happens when you apply yourself, Keith?
Moms fall in love with you. Just call him Zach Wilson.
Love with you.
Also,
Moms
Wolf
love
Eaton
Keith.
in the chat. What's up, Wolf? He said, Simon stole my line. I can't type fast enough. I don't know which line it was.
That's why you got to call in, dude. That's why you got
that's
to
me in
call
the
in.
chat.
Get
Every
live.
time that I'm in the chat, I get so mad because I can't quit back at Simon quick enough. He moves on too fast. I like being on the stream where I can interrupt him. Be like, quit.
You're like, no, you idiot. That doesn't go as well in the
No.
chat. Because I can just ignore it.
Exactly. And Joey in here said the big question: does Snoop get Peyton high?
I'm not smoking the weed that Snoop Dogg smokes, bro. That's how you go. That's how you go to the.
Peyton's head would he wouldn't be able to support his own head. He'd just hit the ground.
I'm trying to imagine Peyton Manning, not like a little bit high, but like not okay on the sideline, but trying to play it cool. Like where he's like, okay, act normal. Do people blink?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dude.
Am I blinking?
Like
We hit
Zuckerberg
that.
in front of Congress or whatever. Drink normally. Drink normally.
Snoop Dogg and Peyton. You know, Snoop Dogg has said the only person who's ever outsmoked him. Do you know who it is? He's been outsmoked once in his life, and he said he was smoked under the table by this person.
Let me guess. It's got to be one of two guys. Is it Willie Nelson?
It is Willie Nelson.
Okay.
He said Willie Nelson is the one and only man or woman, just person in general, to smoke him under the table. And he said, I wasn't even close. He said, I didn't stand a chance against Willie Nelson.
You know do you know my other guess was going to be?
Eli Manning.
Eli Manning.
Eli Manning.
What's your other guess?
It was going to be Cheech Marin.
Okay, that's another
I
great
thought that
guess.
was a shock answer. Yeah, when you said one of two people, I was like, oh,
One
is
of
this a Cheech
two.
and Chong type of thing?
It's either Cheech or it's either Cheech.
It gives two answers, or Cheech and Chong.
Nope. Not Tommy Chong. He can't hang. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I bet he can't hang. I bet he can.
Keeps like Team Cheech.
Cheech, maybe.
Hashtag Team Cheech.
Are you guys Team Cheech or Team Chong? Like Cheech. Yeah, I think that's the right answer.
I'm Team Ampersand, right there in the middle. It's doing all the work in that sentence.
Yeah, it's carrying a lot of weight.
And Tommy said, can you imagine smoking out with Willie and Snoop? No, I don't think I'd make it.
I can imagine dying.
Yeah, I think that'd be the pregame for my funeral, is what that would be.
Panic
It'd be
attack.
pretty sweet pregame.
You'd be having. I'd be having way too many thoughts.
Honestly, if we do a draft on ways to go, like ways you want to go, the coolest ways to go,
right,
I think that'd be up there.
That'd be the way bottom, bro.
Oh, so added. That's such a good idea, Simon.
Spending the rest of your life in a mental asylum. Not smoking the weed that Cheech Marin smokes, bro.
Guys, we can keep talking about this for days, but we got some divisional round games this weekend. Some I'm really excited about. Probably the two teams that people expected to be in this round the least are playing on Saturday. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Kansas City Chiefs and the Giants at the Eagles. Dale, what are these games you want to talk about first?
The best one.
The Jaguars-Chiefs game?
Yeah.
It kind of is the best one.
It kind of is the best one because there's just this, like, I feel like everyone is rooting for the Jaguars. I feel like not to win, but just in general. Like there's a general, let's see if they can do it without Urban Meyer feeling for this Jaguars team. So there doesn't feel like there's any like vitriol or animosity here. Just everyone's excited to watch football.
I kind of always view, this is definitely just a personal opinion, but I always view the AFC as the light side and the NFC as like the dark side.
It's the Jedis versus the Sith.
Yeah, like the AFC it seems like a little more high flying, open, and then the NFC a lot of times to me is just a little more like.
I did see. I saw someone put out that the four AFC teams left have the four smallest television markets in the AFC. So it is kind of like the small cities. Like you got Buffalo and Jackson. Know what I mean? Like they're not big markets compared to like on the other side. You've got San Francisco, Dallas,
yeah.
Philadelphia, New York. Know what I mean? Like 4 of the largest cities in the country. And then the other side, you're like, that's just me, Kansas City over here.
Kansas City. You forget that the team is amazing, but yeah, that doesn't mean the people are going to move to Kansas City.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Trying to think who would buck this train. Maybe Seattle. They're AFC.
They're NFC, but they're not.
They're NFC.
They're not in the playoffs. But like,
we're just talking playoff teams. Yeah.
New York, Dallas.
I thought we were just talking teams.
Yeah, in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's the smallest market? Is it the Falcons? No, it's the Bengals.
It's not the Falcons.
The
there was no one in Cincinnati when I was there, so I believe
I asked JL the first time he went to Cincinnati. I asked him about his experience in the city, and I was like, I didn't say it out loud because I wanted to hear it. He was like, there was nobody there, and my immediate reaction was like, I know, there's nobody there. Like it looks like a city set for a movie.
Yeah.
Like they like set up a fake New York City set, is I think how you described it, JL. And then you're just walking around like a movie set. Like, well, that kind of looks like a bar, but where's the people? Oh, that's a parking garage, but no one's parked there.
Right. It's not like Greenville, South Carolina, where it's like, okay, this is small. It's like, this is huge. This should be people here. Where are they all? Are they all at home?
Tim and I and my sister were walking around Cincinnati one night on our way to Cleveland, Ohio. We stopped there and we walked around for a good hour and a half, like looking for anything. We walked past bars and they were open, but just entirely empty. There was nobody walking the streets. There weren't cars driving by. It truly was like an eerie experience where I thought like there's something weird going on in this city.
I felt like there are different cities in Europe. Some cities in Europe, like London's awake all night. Some places where we were, like Lucerne in Switzerland, it was almost like every mom came out at 8 o'clock and was like, time for bed. Shut everything off. Shut everything down.
Yoo-hoo, bedtime, little Swiss boys.
Finish your fondue. So I do.
No fondue in bed.
I do have another Coop spontaneous mini game here. I do have the smallest NFL TV markets in front of me. All teams included in here. Let's do the top 5. Let's see if you guys get them. Chat. See if you guys can get them first.
Kansas City.
Kansas City is not within the bottom 5. Kansas City.
Boo.
Boo you. You are stupid. You're wrong. So this is only, I only have the bottom 5 in front of me, so I don't know where they are. Jail.
But let's go with the Jets.
The Jets are in New York City. So they are in the top.
Technically, they're in Jersey.
They are in the top.
Okay, I got a guess, Coop, for you. How about
they're in the top?
The
1.
Giants.
The Jets. The Giants. In New York City, they are tied with the Jets.
Oh,
damn.
Shoot,
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay is not in the bottom 5.
Carolina.
You just guessed 2 in a row. Also, still wrong.
Also, didn't you know Charlotte has been named the hottest housing market in 2023, JL?
We have someone in the chat that
Charlotte
has guessed
gives himself that award.
Someone in the chat has guessed one of the answers. Thank God.
The Bengals.
Mercifully, the chat has guessed all 5.
What is it?
They bailed you guys out. Or actually, they missed. They haven't gotten one yet.
Can't wait to know what they are.
Green Bay is number 1, guessed by Dustin. Green Bay is the smallest TV market. And that makes a lot of sense. Buffalo is number 2. Dustin got both those. Number 3 was guessed by Tommy. The New Orleans Saints. It's a pretty small TV market. Number 4, also guessed by Dustin, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 5 has not been guessed yet. And this one is surprising to me.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Bingo. That's it. Las Vegas Raiders.
I started thinking what unlocked it was the New Orleans one, where like New Orleans is a big city, but there's not much else around it as far as it goes. So that's what led me to Vegas.
And the thing about Vegas is, if they're talking about, we're already done with this, jail. If you think about
the disrespect,
Atlanta Falcons,
good job, bud. We finished.
The New York Jets,
Philadelphia Eagles.
Good job, sport. But we already finished. Yeah. The thing about Vegas that's also interesting is look at this measure. It's about the number of people, franchise value, all that. Here's the other thing is that I would imagine personally, well, actually, it's kind of in the middle. do you feel that there are more people or less people watching TV in Vegas? Because there's less people probably staying in their hotel or staying at home watching TV, but at the same time, there's TVs like everywhere, like mega TVs and bars and stuff. So overall, do you think there's more or less people watching TV in?
I bet amongst people who live in Vegas, the percentage is very similar to other major cities in the United States. But amongst people visiting, probably lower. But there's among people that live there, it's probably Vegas is home. Know what I mean? It's not like let's go to the Strip every night.
Yeah,
they're just living their life in the Vegas suburbs.
Yeah, it'd be hard to measure, but you could also see that like I bet in Vegas like Sunday Night Football has a ton of people watching it, right? Because those bars and stuff, like I bet more if you're talking about like boxing and UFC, there's probably more people in Vegas watching it than anywhere in the world.
It's true.
Probably.
Maybe. I have no idea how to gauge TV market size.
Me neither. We're just kind of rambling. We got off the rails. What were we even doing before this?
We were talking about the Jaguars and Chiefs game this weekend. The Jaguars and Chiefs are playing in Kansas City at Arrowhead. Kansas City, they are 8.5-point favorites with a 52.5-point over-under, the highest over-under of the weekend. John Luke.
Simon.
Taking Jacksonville to cover, and you got the cojones to take a money line. Do you think they can win this game?
I don't have the cojones to take the money line, but I'll take them to cover. Yeah, I'll take Jacksonville to cover.
Sprinkle that money line. Sprinkle it. Salt Bay that money line a little bit.
I'm with you, Coop. If we get that second half Trevor Lawrence and the defense plays the way it played to close out the season, this is going to be a game. I don't think the 8.5-point line is justified for the Jags here. I think they could pull this one off. If I remember correctly, I picked them in our bracket whenever we made our bracket, picked the Jags over them. And I do think the Chiefs are the better team, but the way this Jacksonville team's playing in a one-and-done scenario, they can come in here and steal a win from the Chiefs. They're a good enough team to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing about like, and we have to incorporate this into our NFL stuff a little bit. And I didn't mind, but like when you talk about bracketology with the March Madness bracket, right? They basically tell you, the experts like 538, they tell you have to pick some upsets because in the real world, it's going to happen, right? So, and you have to pick some crazy ones because in the real world, there are teams that in the NCAA tournament are 15-point underdogs that win, right? So I have no problem with Simon picking the Jaguars if he believes in the Jaguars. They're a hot team right now. And there's going to be something in there that happens. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Damn, Coop, you convinced me. I'm with you, Simon. I'm switching.
There's got to be.
Yes.
Let's go.
If not here, then where? Right? You're gonna pick the Bengals. You know what I mean? There's gonna be.
Listen,
something.
We're gonna be together this weekend. We gotta have something to cheer for.
Ooh, Tommy in the chat saying the upset this week is the Giants, dude. Pandering to Maria and Dr. Microanalysis with that one.
True.
Jill, I'll take you to this cool local sports bar. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Hooters. To watch the game. Yeah,
What's so special about it?
They got Hooterade is the big draw in there. It's like Mountain Dew, blue Gatorade, vodka, rum, tequila, and blue Curacao all mixed together.
Wait, time out. Cool. Is that real?
I may have gotten the ingredients a little bit wrong, but it's very real. Blue Hooterade.
That sounds awesome, dude.
You frequent?
I'm pretty sure that's the big pull. There. No, I've been once or twice.
You have a membership card?
Yeah, I haven't gone more than twice this week, JL. It's Leanne's favorite restaurant, though. She always is begging to go there. And it's like a local establishment, I think.
You pull the move my dad pulls, or he's like, let's go to your favorite restaurant, Hooters.
Get some wings. What's the what would be the name of the Hooters membership program? The Creamer Club?
What? I don't even understand.
You
You
never
heard boobs called creamers?
No, not once in my life. I think it would be called the they actually have really good wings club.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite offensive. That's easily my favorite offensive name for boobs.
I haven't updated my rankings recently. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
When I first heard that one,
my running list
moved way up. right up there with bazongas.
Yeah, just keep naming them, Coop. Dustin said, I am 40 years old and I've never heard creamers. Yeah, I think maybe, Coop, that might just be
that's just he named them.
That's a local delicacy.
You guys haven't heard?
I think so. Coop, I didn't ask you. Do you think the Jaguars are going to pull this upset off, or do you think the Chiefs are going to come out of this one alive?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs crush them. But I love your enthusiasm, and I respect I love your enthusiasm, and I respect your willingness to pick the upset. But I think the Chiefs win this game pretty handily.
Pretty handily. So you think they cover the 8.5 point spread?
I think that. Yeah, I think so. I think they do.
What about we're getting a producer Tony coming in here letting us know Trevor Lawrence has never lost a game on Saturday in high school, college, or the NFL, including last weekend. Coop, does that change your mind? Because wait, what day is tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow's Saturday.
Whoa!
Sábado.
That probably means that the spread otherwise would be like 17 then, right? But they were like, oh, wait a second, this guy never lost on this day of the week.
According to PFF, 80% of the bets that have been put down on the spread are in Jacksonville's favor.
Oh, no.
80% of cash.
Confident.
Did I say that?
You're talking on the spread, right? Not money line.
That's
on the spread.
I mean, the spread opened at 10. Now it's down to 8.5. The money's also been coming in on the over. It opened at 51.5. It's up to 53.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
I'm seeing 94% under cash.
Really?
According
Why
to
is
PFF. Who knows?
Well,
maybe bets, the numbers you're looking at, Jail. Is that like the amount of money or the number of bets?
That's the amount of money.
Okay.
Are you on like
50%? 50% have taken the under on tickets.
What I bet is that means the sharps are on the under. Know what I mean? We got some big sharp under bets now that they've moved the line up a point or two. But initially, I think it probably was right. You got a volume on the over with that lower number. You had them bump it because of that, and then big money came in on the under.
What do you want? Are you on PFF Green Line? Is that what you're
on? Best bets.
Okay.
The tab next to Green Line.
Ooh.
Right next door.
Fancy.
But yeah, it's on Green Line too. Now looking over at it, 91% of the cash bets are on Kansas City. So I think you're right on that one. They're definitely expecting Kansas City to win.
Yep, playing out that way. Coop, you asked earlier, if not this game, where else are you going to call the upset? And Tommy in the chat is saying the upset is the Giants this week, and that is our other Saturday game. The Giants playing the Philadelphia Eagles, 7.5 point dogs on the road in Philly. Over there on the NFC side. Coop, you think the Giants are going to pull this upset off? Tommy seems to think so.
I don't think so. These teams already played. I know the Giants had some injuries at the time, but the reality is that the Giants have not so great wide receivers, and the Eagles have amazing corners. I'm just having a hard time figuring out what the path is for this Giants offense. Like Isaiah Hodgins looked great last week against the team that is the stone worst in the league against outside wide receivers, flankers, and split ends. The Vikings were letting up like 9 yards of target to the outside wide receivers. This team, on the other hand, with James Bradbury and Darius Slay, is shut down city. It's a pretty nasty place. And Isaiah Hodgins versus Darius Slay, Darius Slayton versus James Bradbury, I don't know about that, dude. So I don't. Saquon Barkley is going to have himself an absolute day for them to pull this one out. I think the Eagles just take care of business.
I want to see Darius Slay on Darius Slayton just for the confusion of the announcers.
You know what gets really confused by that? Our system at Fantasy Alarm that is supposed to pick up the player names. It always populates Darius Slayton with Darius Slay's name and then just TON.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's super annoying. We're working on it.
Behind the scenes, a peek behind the curtain. John Luke, do you think the Giants can pull this one out, or do you think Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are going to roll to the conference championship?
I think the Eagles win if Jalen Hurts plays. I think the Eagles probably win either way. I think this game might be a little more fun than we think, but I agree with Coop. It's just hard to see a path here apart from Saquon, which I think they'll just probably try and load the box and contain Saquon. So I think the Eagles have this one.
I'm with you guys. I think the Eagles pull this one out. I think they're going to the Super Bowl, and this is just a step along the way. But it's a division game, so it can anything can happen.
Dustin said Hodgins 6 targets, 4 receptions, 38 yards, and a touchdown. Which, hooray, touchdown! But 4 receptions for 38 yards is terrible in a game that the other team hung 48 points on you. When the other team scores 48 points, how many times do you get the ball? And this dude only had 38 yards. In my opinion, that is shut down. Like, at what point in the game did he score that touchdown? When the other team scores 48, probably just some garbage time trash touchdown. I'll pull it up right now and see who he scored it on. But my guess is probably not one of these mega star. He did score it against Darius Slay. So,
suck it, Coop.
God,
no, but your point still stands that 4 receptions for 38 yards. If he doesn't get that TD, you're pretty disappointed from a fantasy perspective. You're not too happy with that. But you just got to hope for that TD, I guess. I hope he plays a little better this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I got a emergency text message during the show. You were talking about this was at 8:00. You were talking about how your mom is a big Keith fan. Ani Koopy also Keith fan. She said, "Morning, guys. Keith did it for me, running around in his undies like a real man."
Like a real man.
So Ani Coop also, Keith, you know what? You're hired again. We're giving you another.
Hired. I love that he was fired, but still listens.
Well, yeah, he's doing it again. Tony was the one that came in and dropped that Trevor Lawrence never lost on a Saturday stat. Never lost. Advanced analytics. So Tony's
now your boss.
Great job.
Whoever comes with the coolest statistic every day gets to be the boss.
You know the rules. You know the rules.
Reminds me of the Key and Peele sketch where they talk about having a kid, and every time they're good, they're going to give them a cooler name, and every time they're bad, they're going to give them a worse name as their punishment system. If they're really cool, you get to be like Batman, law enforcement, or like Charizard,
Banana Pants.
Charizard's like that fake Pokemon that you ask for Charizard and they get some bootleg thing.
It's just your parents call them. It's like, oh, where's your hologram thick Charizard thing?
Charizard, on your Nintendo Play.
On your Nintendo portable.
Genesis. Your Play Genesis.
Time is like, stop joking about Pokemon.
You nailed it, guys. No, it was so funny. I couldn't even move forward. I didn't want to follow. Kevin in here saying Pikachu. CHEW.
There he is. Yeah. So I don't know. So does anybody here think that the Giants can actually pull it out?
I think they can. I don't think they will.
What about the spread?
These are 8 playoff teams. Any one of these teams could beat any one of these other teams. Like, we can acknowledge that. You know what I mean? There's no matchup here between any of these 8 teams where one team can't win, but there's ones that I'm more confident in betting the underdog than the other. These first 2, for me personally, I just think the Chiefs and the Eagles having a week of rest, coming in healthy, probably going to take care of business at home. Call me a downer, but on these ones, it's a little too chalk. The next 2, though.
We got Jay in here saying, I do. Oh, and if you're unaware of his Twitter handle, it is G-Men J. He is a bit of a Giants fan over there. He thinks they can pull it off.
Unbiased when it comes to this stuff, regardless of his Twitter handle.
He honestly is usually pretty unbiased about stuff. If anything, he's biased against the Giants instead of towards the Giants.
Yeah, I'm that way with the Patriots in fantasy football.
When they were 6-0 or 6-1 at the beginning of the season, Jay was sitting there going, "Nope, they're terrible. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to the Giants franchise. I can't believe that they're winning games right now. This is not the plan." He was pessimistic all the way through them getting to like the best record in the NFL.
And now look at you.
In the playoffs. You won a playoff game.
Yeah. Now I got to ask you guys. What's up?
Joey said, "Kids fry your brains. One day you'll all realize that if any of you could ever get laid."
God, hit me with the laugh track.
What laugh track? We don't have a laugh track. That's just the crowd. That's just the audience.
You got us.
Yo,
again, Joey.
I would not be cool if there was just an audience behind my computer screen right now.
Just staring.
At 7:30 in the morning. No way.
If we had a live
while Leanne's sleeping.
We had a live audience and just people going,
I need your ticket.
Just people all day not laughing and just going, what? But I have to ask you guys. So the Giants are now kind of in a weird position because they came in, Brian Daboll, new front office. They didn't pick up Daniel Jones's 5th-year option as a quarterback, which is, $22 million, which is a serious discount over basically anything that you would pay a franchise quarterback, anything that you would pay via the transition tag, via the franchise tag. And then this year he played really well. He got them to the playoffs. I mean, he didn't throw a ton of touchdown passes, but they didn't have a lot of options there. Puts them in a tough situation because, the writing was on the wall that they were probably going to move on, get their own guy, do their own thing. In this situation, what would you guys do? He's good now because they didn't pick up the option. He's a free agent. The three options you end up having are you could pay him, which he's going to want to get paid. You could, and it'll be a multi-year deal, 2-3 years at least. You could franchise tag him, which is going to be a big chunk of money, or you could transition tag him. And basically what that is you pay him a little bit less. I think it's like 25 million instead of like the 30 something that you pay a franchise QB, but another team could come and take him. But it costs them 2 first-round picks. It's basically putting him on the trade block for 2 first-round picks. That's kind of what the transition tag ends up being. So what direction would you guys go with Daniel Jones?
I think they transition tag him. There's not a free agent QB that I realistically seen them landing that's better than Daniel Jones, and they're going to be too far back in the draft to draft their future quarterback, I think. And I don't think this team wants to trade a bunch of draft capital to trade up into the top 2 picks to grab one of Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, right? Daniel Jones is good. He looked pretty good this year. So I think they rolled him another year. I like what you said yesterday, Coop. Throw that transition tag on him, franchise tag Saquon Barkley. And if he looks good next year, you get a long-term deal done. That's probably what I'm doing.
It just feels like it feels like you're overpaying with the franchise tag.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you give yourself some wiggle room, right? Timing wise, you give yourself a little bit more time to figure it out. Like you're paying for the opportunity of not having to make that decision right now on nothing or a long-term deal.
But what are you waiting for?
So here's
a little bit more evidence. The sample size of him being good this year, like, is equal to the sample size of him being bad the year before, right? And then the year before that, he was all right, rookie year, whatever. So you get another year, you get more games, you get more data to add to that before you make your decision. And I think that's valuable, right?
Here's the big scary with the franchise tag and why I would go with the transition tag if possible is that, and these coaches and GMs, they're people too. So when you look at, believe it or not, human beings, no matter how mean we are to them on Twitter, they're going to have a certain degree of FOMO that's going to make it hard for them to use the franchise tag because they could have picked up his 5th-year option, which would have been $22 million. The franchise tag for quarterbacks for 1 year is projected to be $45 million.
Ouch.
It's the average of the top 5 players at your position. And if Lamar Jackson signs sooner than later, then, and he gets the 45-50 million, then that's just going to lock that in stone. But it's already in the range where it's going to be $40+ million. So they're going to pay double for 1 year of this guy. That's why I think, Simon, I'm kind of with you that do the transition tag. If somebody wants to take him, the transition tag is going to be 32 million or so is what they are projecting, which is, again, also crazy. They made a 10. If they do keep him this year, they made a $10 to $20 million mistake by not picking up that 5th-year option, right? But that at least lets you see what you got one more year. I would franchise. I talked about this yesterday. Franchise tag Jones, transition tag Jones, franchise tag Saquon. One more year, see what you got, and then blow it up if you have to.
Jay in here, the Giants fan, saying I'm okay with Jones coming back. Not excited, not happy, just okay. And then also said, what does FOMO mean? FOMO means for only my only.
For only my only.
It was
pretty good.
Originated by Mark Twain back in the day. He's talking about.
I thought it was. What was he talking about?
I thought it was Mark Sanchez.
It was Mark Twain talking about Mark Sanchez.
Okay, that's why I always get it mixed up.
Doth butt fumble.
There will one day arise a boy.
How art thou, butt fumble?
I thought FOMO stood for only my Aqua Boonum.
And that's
to each your own.
That was originated by that guy Jerry Rosberg, the timeout king.
The timeout clock management head coach.
The clock man. NKC Rules says hi. Hi, NKC Rules. Welcome to the show.
Hello, NKC.
What's up, NKC? Welcome in. Guys, coming up, we've got our friend Vinny joining the show to play some Fantasy Feud with us. We're going to play some Hypothetically as well. And our friend Tim is going to join the show a little bit later today as well. And we're going to finish talking about these divisional round games we got this weekend. Right now, you're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show on Better Sports Network.
Front Yard Fantasy with Simon, JL, and Coop.
The Baltimore Ravens and linebacker Roquan Smith have agreed to a record 5-year deal worth $100 million.
The biggest thing I saw from this wasn't even excitement from Ravens fans. It was, oh shoot, if we're signing him to this big of a deal, how the hell are we going to sign Lamar to the kind of deal that he wants, is the general reaction I saw from Ravens fans. So the Ravens fans, and myself included, who thought, of course, they're going to re-sign him. 100% he's getting that deal done. This just crept in that little bit of doubt. Like, that is going to be an insane amount of their cap tied up in 2 players if they do sign Lamar.
Here's an interesting wrinkle to this, is that Lamar Jackson famously does not want to use an agent. His mother is his manager, acting as his agent, so technically not really using a real agent. And Roquan Smith did not use an agent here. So the Ravens at least proved just now it's not the fact that he doesn't have a real agent that's holding this deal, because they just signed a monster contract with a guy that represented himself.
It's baffling as a Ravens fan, just looking at this as an outsider looking in. It's, why are they having so much trouble signing Lamar Jackson? You're going to have to pay him a top 5 contract, or give him a top 5 contract in the position. And then on top of that, like, you're either waiting for him to get injured or to like get one over on him, which both of those don't really help you in the long run. So it's baffling to me that this is still an issue.
I'm telling you right now, I already said this. Top quarterbacks get $45 to $50 million a year. He's not using an agent, so he's saving that money there. Why don't you just take the 5% you would pay an agent, take the top money, 45, 50 million, whatever it is, subtract that, $2 to $3 million a year from the total. Boom, there you go. Done deal. I just negotiated the whole thing.
Front Yard Fantasy, weekday mornings at 7 Eastern on Better Sports Network.
Hey, oi, hey,
Hey, oi,
Hey.
What I've learned is most people don't like it when you just walk into a room and scream, oi!
They definitely don't like it in London when you walk around going, hey, oi, hey. And you're not from there, and you're clearly wearing like Patriots gear.
Yeah. You're like, hey, bruv, give me some fish and chips.
I look down. You're like, clearly Patriots gear, Celtics.
I looked at Celtics pulled out the big win yesterday against the Golden State Warriors. Did you guys watch that game?
I did not.
No.
I did not.
Dude, I watched a bit of it. Dude, Steph Curry, that dude's a real problem, man. He's ridiculous, man. Right before halftime, the C's inbound the ball. They're coming up. Or actually, it was a turnover. So always get the ball. They're coming down. There's no time on the clock. Steph Curry strips it, just grabs the ball, and he knows there's no time on the clock. He just pulls up wherever he is, which is on the other side of half court. Shoots a jumper, nothing but net, dude. This guy is like, it's like nothing.
I just watched a video of him yesterday where pregame warmups, and it was early pregame warmups. There's not many people in the arena. He starts at the free throw line and nothing but net, taking one step back at a time until mid-court, and then one step forward, all the way back, nothing but net on every single shot. Not just made every single one, but like effortlessly nothing but net. When nobody's guarding him, that dude can sink it from anywhere.
Unreal.
Well, that's the insane part, is that if you put any of these like centers, that there are centers that have like 3 career 3-point shots, and they're all full court chucks, but you put that guy out there, he'll hit 8 of 10 from the 3-point line. It's just during the game it's much harder, but like those guys can shoot. It's a different level during the game. And Steph Curry is shooting like off 1 foot, rolling the ball underhand. That dude has done layups, like, just kind of rolling in and just like flicking it in. That would be full jump shots for me. It's crazy, that guy. So that's been basketball talk here on the Front Yard Fantasy Show.
Basketball show.
Yeehaw. Joey Wright and
Basketball
said FOMO
show.
stands for ferrets on my ottoman. Yeah, that common situation I end up in when there's ferrets on my ottoman. God,
I hate when that happens.
Get them out.
You guys ever watch Phineas and Ferb?
No.
There's an episode called Squirrels in My Pants, and they have a whole song called Simp. and they just sing the simp song, but it stands for squirrels in my pants over and over. Like it's totally on purpose. The writers of that show know what they're doing, but they just sing squirrels in my pants, and simp is like playing across the screen over and over and over again. It's a phenomenal episode.
I've heard that's a great show. I used to work with this lovely woman named Meredith, who she would just tell me that like her son would watch the show, and then she legitimately would enjoy it to the point where she would be like, "Let's watch Phineas." Like she told me that I need to watch it, but I haven't gotten to it.
We turn it on
yet.
at our house sometimes.
You get
Jane here saying Steph Curry was in the same division as where he went to college while he was in school, and he saw him play in college and thought he wasn't that good. Just put up a bunch of shots. Boy, was I wrong. Yeah, you were pretty wrong. That's the most, Jay. Sometimes your boomer just leaks like, oh, this isn't basketball. A guy just chucking up threes. You get in the lane, you take your layups. This is not the basketball I know.
He went to Davidson. I was on Davidson's campus last year. It's a quaint little area.
I knew one person that went to Davidson.
Good place
That's my Davidson fact.
I was recruited to wrestle at Davidson when I thought I wanted to wrestle in college. I was the only D1 offer that I got was from Davidson.
You wrestled my heart in college.
I went to Clemson and wrestled your heart instead. It was way better than the misery that would have been college wrestling. Oh my God, that would have been the worst decision I would have. Oh, absolutely. They wanted me to wrestle in the 141 weight class. The stick figure class? I was 230 by the end of freshman year. So that tells you I had a little bit more fun at Clemson than I would have.
Freshman 230.
How much you weigh now?
I don't know, like
367 pounds.
170 in that range.
367. That's like what Trent Brown weighs, dude.
You ever seen us in the same room?
No, dude.
You've never seen my calves, have you?
Go Pat.
We always talk about Jail's calves being muscular. Mine are not muscular, but boy, are they dangly and big.
I missed your answer. What? How much your dangly calves weigh?
170 a piece.
I'm on a diet. I'm just under 200 pounds. Not only kind of skinny fat now, boys.
Kind of skinny fat.
I feel like yesterday we were talking about who was it? Oh, I think Leftwich, who played with one leg in that game, right? And we were like think of the sport you play with only one leg. There was a college wrestler who only had one leg. Whenever he wrestled, it was like right above the knee is where it was cut off. He wrestled with only one leg, and a lot of people would talk about it being an advantage for him in wrestling because a leg weighs 40-50 pounds, and they're saying like this is the one sport where maybe if you can learn to wrestle like that, one, your opponent doesn't know how to wrestle a guy with one leg. All of his practice is against the guy with two legs. Two, you're not wrestling guys that body size are about 40 to 50 pounds less than you, even though you guys weigh the same. So interesting. Look up videos of the dude. They're fun to watch.
That's wild. Yeah, because he probably has bigger biceps than everybody else there. It makes you think like maybe you should start removing like your like gallbladder and all that stuff you don't need. Appendix, get your appendix out. You know what I mean? Like if you really cared though, like a couple ribs towards the bottom, you don't really need them.
Towards the bottom.
Joining the show right now, we've got our great friend Vinny Iyer. He's an NFL and fantasy football writer over at Sporting News and a host on the Locked On Sports Network. Vinny, thanks so much for joining us again this Friday.
Vinny.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going?
Better now that you're here.
Yeah. All right. We'll be excited. I think once we get to tomorrow morning, then we'll be unwrapping two juicy divisional playoff games.
Oh, I'm so excited.
What do you got? What do you got going on this weekend, Vinny? I feel like you're like the weekend king lately, dude. Foxwoods, dating.
I have nothing going on this weekend.
Jet setting,
house parties.
Yeah. This is gonna be a house party of one.
Nice house party.
So I'll be watching games and getting various snacks. So
there you have it, folks. Even jet setting playboys like Foxwood Vin need to
have normal lives just like you.
Take a breather every once in a while. Take a weekend off.
You think either of the big dogs tomorrow can pull off the upset? You think the Giants can beat the Eagles or the Jags can beat the Chiefs?
I mean, I'm not going to close the door to anything. I do think the Chiefs and Eagles should win, and I think they have big advantages in this game, but crazier things have happened before, and we haven't had a number one seed win the Super Bowl in quite some time. Since Super Bowl 52, the Eagles were the last team to do it. So we'll see how it plays out.
If you had to throw your money on one of the two teams to pull off the upset, would you go Jags or would you go Giants?
I would go Giants only because I think that division rivalry thing comes into play where I don't think the Chiefs are not going to be too worried about the Jaguars. It's not like they played them in the regular season, so they're going to be worried about, do they figure out some things? I think they'll be pretty confident. Where the Eagles, I think, will be a little nervous because the second time they didn't play them with the regulars in there without Daniel Jones, without Saquon Barkley. So I don't know if they've gotten the Giants team that it's been its best. But I think the Giants, you've seen the best of the Giants, I think, in the last two real games against the Colts and the Vikings. That's when the real Daniel Jones just dominated. I mean, those two games, you look at the numbers for Daniel Jones, I mean, that has been spectacular. I mean, rushing and passing. So he's going to be a handful. And if he plays well, doesn't turn over the ball, I think the Giants are going to have a shot.
Yeah,
Tommy in the chat's agreeing with you. He earlier said he thought the Giants were going to pull it off and saying, smart man now. And the division rival thing does come into play. It's why I'm excited for that game, I think, is that third matchup between these two teams. Who knows what's going to happen? Could go either way.
It is fairly rare for one team to beat another team 3 times in a row in one season.
Well, Vinny, we brought you over here today to play a game we call Fantasy Feud, one that you excel at, usually kick our butts in. But we will see how JL and Coop fare against you today. For those of you who have never played with us before, the rules are pretty simple. It's a lot like the TV show Family Feud. I'm going to propose a category, something like the 7 quarterbacks with the most passing yards this past season. You guys will buzz in by saying your name if you think you know the number one answer. Get the number one answer, you're going to have an opportunity to pass or play. If you play, you got 3 strikes to get all the answers. Get them all before 3 strikes, you're going to earn all those points. But if you miss, your opponents will have an opportunity to steal by getting just one of the remaining answers on the board. The order we're going to be stealing in today is going to be Vinny, Coop, JL. So along that line, wherever it goes, if Coop's the one guessing, unless somebody else buzzed in and then it goes to them first, or if they passed it to you, then it goes to them first. You guys ready to get in there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Remember, say your name to buzz in, and it's whichever name I hear first. I hear first. Coop.
Preemptively.
Which is trash. I'm telling you, dude. Selective hearing. Vinny, you gotta be loud.
You didn't even care about it until you said
Yeah,
it.
I'll
Say,
be
yeah.
I'll be good.
You gotta be quick, Vinny, because he hears those J's very selectively.
Okay.
Vinny's like, Coop, I'm not on your team on this. Stop trying to rope me in.
Just saying, man. Vinny,
Last time I buzzed in too early and I didn't get the whole question and I was in trouble. So
I don't know.
You can buzz in early, but I will stop reading it. We got Kevin in the chat saying good morning. Good morning, Kevin. Welcome in, my friend.
Kevin.
Here we go. Your first prompt. 7 quarterbacks who threw the most passing touchdowns during their rookie season.
Vinny.
Heard Vinny first. Vinny, you're going to have the first guess. Do you want to take a shot at this one?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert is number 1 on this list, Vinny. So you're going to choose whether you want to pass or play this.
I will play.
Okay. What do you got?
I'm going to say Cam Newton.
Cam Newton is not on this list. So that is 1 strike for Vinny. See, I can pull the list up. I had it.
Did we do the order to, like, if Vin doesn't get it, who goes next?
If Vinny doesn't get it, it is Coop and then JL.
Hey, Vinny, can I drop Cam Newton in Dynasty?
I think so. I think you're safe.
Haven't been able to be strong enough to make that decision, but it's been haunting me all season.
He's still better than every quarterback in the league. That's what he said.
Every quarterback in the league? Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Cam Newton is tied for 13th on this list, is where he's sitting.
All right. I'm gonna go again. I think I have a better guess here. Robert Griffin III.
Robert Griffin III is not in the top 7 here, unfortunately.
No Bobby Griffin.
He's tied for 15th down there, right behind Cam Newton.
All right. Those are 2 big seasons I had. I'm gonna go Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning is number 4 on this list, Vinny. Nice job. Actually tied for number 3 on this list is Peyton Manning.
Okay, I'm going to go Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson tied with Peyton Manning for number 3.
Uh-oh. You've unlocked him. You've unlocked him. You've unlocked Vinny.
Okay, let me think about this one.
Cheat code Vinny.
Cheat code Vin.
It's someone recent, I think. No, I'm going to keep going with that draft and say Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck is tied for number 6 on this list.
Okay. Let me think. Keep thinking.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't play this one.
I'm going to say Dan Marino.
Dan Marino
Good pick.
is not on this
Oh,
list.
no.
He's sitting there tied with Robert Griffin down there at 15th, unfortunately,
Really?
which means, Coop, Vinny has knocked off a good bunch of these. He's knocked off 4 of these. There are 3 remaining. If you can name any of them, you'll steal, unless there's still a higher one left, at which point JL will have the opportunity to swoop in and get it.
So I know that the team did very well his rookie year. I want to say maybe even won the Super Bowl. No, but maybe. Is Big Ben Roethlisberger on the list?
Coop, Big Ben is not
Oh,
on this list. I apologize. John Luke,
apologize.
it comes down to you. It's either going to be you or Vinny getting these points. Can you name one of the other 3 names on this list?
Most passing touchdowns in their rookie season. I'm gonna go with Eli Manning.
Eli Manning is not on this list. So Vinny, you are going to get 4 points.
I think I know one of the other ones. I think I do.
Let's hear it.
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan is not in the top 7 here.
Okay.
Where is Matt Ryan on this list? I did not see him. He's not in the top 20. So the last one's remaining. Number 2 on the list.
Drew Bledsoe.
Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield with 27.
And Dustin as well.
Yeah. And then Dustin got another one on the list. Daniel Jones is number 5.
Oh, 24.
24 passing touchdowns. Wow. And then tied with Andrew Luck at number 6. So these are 6 and 7. Dak Prescott was the other one. So Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, and Baker Mayfield were the 3 that were missed.
Dak also has the record for the highest completion percentage by a rookie that year. 69%.
Yeah, I forgot about Dak's rookie year. It was really good.
Good year.
But
good.
You mean Rain
Dakota Prescott.
I would have never guessed Baker Mayfield was that high, but
I only knew that one because I'm a Browns fan, right? Like I watched it happen. I remember him setting the record, and all of the Baker Mayfield's trash. I'd be like, oh, the guy with the rookie touchdown record is trash, until Justin Herbert came along and broke it.
Yeah.
But
the Browns.
Vinny, you're going to get a 4-0 lead after that one, and we are going to move into our next question.
Big trouble, JL.
You guys are in a hole. Here you go.
That was our opportunity. We have to steal those as a team. I'm no longer on a team with Vinny. I'm on a team with JL now.
and JL's like, no, that's okay. You can be with Vinny.
No.
And Vinny's like, no. I swear it's okay. You can be with JL.
I don't pick up the 5th year option.
Last round he'll be in a team with Simon. So
I'm on a team with the chat.
Just switches little by little. Here's your next prompt, guys. The 6 running backs with the highest yards per carry during the 2022 regular season. Okay, JL.
Highest yards per carry. Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders is number 7, and I asked for top 6. I'm sorry, JL. That is going to be a bonk.
Ouchie, Mouse.
Yeah, that one hurts.
Is there an end to this question that we can hear? Maybe with a minimum number of carries? Because if there's no minimum number of carries, these stats get pretty wonky.
I will give 2 clues for everybody here. There is no minimum number of carries, and it didn't get wonky. There was no need for me to wait, no, I'm completely lying because of the way these stats are made. It is a minimum of 6.5 carries per game that the team played is what we've got there.
Yeah.
So these are players that got a minimum of 6.5 per game that they played there. So John Luke, that question is over, but Vinny and Coop, if you guys want to buzz in, now's your time to do so. Oh, Vinny buzzed in right there.
Yeah, I'm buzzing in. Yeah. Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb is number 5 on this list, Vinny. Nice job. But Coop, if you want to try to scoop in since he got number 5, you can try to guess one higher than him.
I will scoop in, and I'm going to go with, it's top 6, right?
Yep.
I'm going to go with J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins is not on this list. I'm sorry, Coop. Not up there. And it was 6.5 attempts per game that the team played is what we've got there. So maybe that's what's holding him out there. But he's not on this list, which means, Vinny, you're going to get to choose. You want to pass or play this?
I will play.
Vinny's going to play. So we've got Nick Chubb knocked off the list. Where are you going next?
I'm going Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard, number 3 on the list. Nice job, Vinny.
Do we know what Nick Chubb's yards per carry was?
Yes, we do, and I can give that information. Nick Chubb's yards per carry. Where did that go? I lost it. I can give it to you in a second.
Okay, because I know Dobbins is like 6.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Nick Chubb is sitting at 5.1 is where he is.
So, yeah,
maybe Dobbins didn't meet the threshold.
He didn't meet the threshold. So it was okay. I don't think he had any games he played with under 6 carries.
Well, that's why I said both times. Games the team played. 6.5 carries per game the team played.
Yeah.
So that would be what, times 17. That would just mean a minimum of 111 carries, basically.
Okay, that's where I messed up. All right, carry on.
Okay, Vinny, you got 2.
I think he's probably behind. I think he's a little bit behind Nick Chubb, but I'll try to get it. It's Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey is not in the top 6. He's sitting down at 4.7 yards per attempt.
Okay, so 5.1 is okay.
This is hard.
This is
very high. Yeah.
That's a really high number here. So, oh man, I'm gonna go Kenneth Walker the third.
I'm sorry, Kenneth Walker the third is not on this list, sitting there at 4.6, right around Christian McCaffrey. So, Vinny, you got 2 right, and that is 2 strikes. One more strike, it's going to pass.
Okay, let me dig deeper here. I'm going to say Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry is not in the top 6. I'm so sorry, Vinny. That's going to be 3 strikes. He's sitting on there at 4.4.
This is hard.
Which means, Coop, you're going to have the opportunity to steal.
So I have 2 that I want to do. One of them I'm a little worried about with the whole threshold thing now. Because he missed some time. So I'm gonna go with Ramondre Stevenson.
Sitting there at number 6 is Ramondre Stevenson. So Coop, you did get 1, but JL, you got number 6. Numbers 1, 2, and 4 are still sitting there. If you get any of those, you're going to steal all of these points. Otherwise, they're going to Coop.
JL swoop. Can he swoop?
I'm gonna go with Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. Okay. John Luke is not in the top 6.
I knew when your upward inflection was coming that I was wrong.
This is hard, man.
Can I give you my other guess that I had 2? The other one was Raheem Mostert.
Raheem Mostert is sitting right outside of this group, tied with Miles Sanders.
Oof, man.
So there's a couple guys sitting there at Jeff Wilson, also tied with that group at 4.9 yards per carry. Another Tyler Algier also tied with that group at 4.9 per carry. Isaiah Pacheco and Josh Jacobs. That's that bunch that's sitting right outside looking in. Your number 1 answer. No, we're going to start at the back this time. Number 4, sitting with 5.1, tied with Nick Chubb. Travis Etienne Jr. is sitting there at number 4, 5.1 per carry. Sitting at number 2, Green Bay Packers running back Aaron Jones, 5.3 yards per carry.
Never would.
Sitting at number 1, Dustin in the chat called it, Khalil Herbert, 5.7 yards per carry. With 129 carries on the season. It's not a small sample size.
No way you could have won that one, Vinny.
Dustin in the chat got Herbert, Aaron Jones, and Ramondre Stevenson. Got all of those. Didn't get ETN, though.
I just
So our first 2 lists had Justin Herbert and Khalil Herbert. That was the number 1.
Herbert list.
Herbert Day, dude.
Herbert, guys. Herbert was the next guess.
We didn't in the ice cream draft yesterday, we didn't let Simon pick Sherbert. So this is him just taking the next best thing.
Yeah, I'm coming for that shirt.
But one of my prized possessions is a Bobby Hebert glass. It's a pint glass. I got in a jazz club in New Orleans, and I just took it because it looked awesome. Like they served me a cocktail in a Bobby Hebert.
The Bobby Hebert
beer. Yeah, it's one of my prized.
Is it a Saints one or a Falcons one?
No, it's a Saints one. I mean, it was in New Orleans, so they had this.
Oh, it was in New Orleans.
Yeah, it was like a leftover. It was sort of like an '86, like a pint glass you would have found like in the mid '80s. So I said, I'm keeping this.
You got a pocket. Yeah, I'm sure they were like that. Found a good home.
Yeah, because I was into Bobby Hebert for a while. He looked weird. He had kind of the sleepy eyes, and he would come out there and he would fire the ball downfield. But yeah, we should do a whole round about Bobby A there.
He got a pretty punchable face. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, and I met him once. I was covering Saints training camp, and he was like the most Cajun voice I could have ever heard. He was like, Jimmy. It was like Jimmy Graham. He was like, Jimmy, what do you think about this matchup? The Packers this week, and yeah, he's a weird guy. He's a weird guy.
That's awesome. Did you get him to sign your glass?
No, I got the glass I think after that, so
gotcha.
which was funny. So
I pulled up J.K. Dobbins stat. He had 92 carries, so it's below the threshold for sure.
Okay.
That's why I didn't get
5.7 yards a carry though, so he was up there.
Also, how did the Packers not give Aaron Jones the ball more? That's bad.
You know his career yards per carry is above 5. It's like
I thought he was old and washed though.
Only Jonathan Taylor
just washed. He's a very
Chubb
clean man.
He's kind of like Jamal Charles was. He always had a high yards per carry.
Jamal Charles is awesome.
I'm sure Aaron Jones wouldn't mind that comparison.
Yeah.
If he said, "Yeah, he's kind of like Jamal Charles,"
no, I don't
he'd
think
be like, "All right, I'll take it." Because we got time for one more round, I think. Vinny's in the lead, 4-3 to 0. Coop in second place. John Luke, you still got time though. This could be your round. I can feel it.
I believe in you. I believe in you, teammate.
You ready for the next
I didn't
one?
get that one right. Yeah.
Here we go. The 7 teams with the least playoff wins in the last 25 years.
Coop.
Oh. I heard JL first. JL.
Vikings.
I am sorry. The Vikings are not in the bottom 7, JL. Coop, I did hear you buzz in next.
I'm going to go with the Lions.
The Lions, sitting at 0 wins, are number 1 on this list. Not a single playoff win in the last 25 years.
I'm thinking I thought losses. Playoff losses.
Oh, yeah.
That makes more sense.
Okay, yeah.
I was just ready to shit on Kirk Cousins.
I just saw that, I saw that stat was hot this week, so I immediately just thought, oh, they went after that stat. And so I just, yeah.
I will play then.
What you got, Coop?
I'm going to go with the Browns.
Browns are number 2 on this list with only 1 playoff win in the last 25 years.
Detroit was number 1?
Detroit was
Lions.
1. Lions are 1. Yeah. Give me the Jets.
Jets.
They have 2.
Are not on this list.
Really? I know they had the Mark Sanchez little run there.
I think the 25 years covers the
25 years a long
Vinny
time.
Testaverde run. I think the best. So that's
25
why.
years is a long time. Give me the Texans.
Texans, and the way this question was set up, there are. I'm going to give you a whole group here because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams tied with 4 wins that were all listed just as number 6 on this list, and it's going to count for that entire group, but it's just going to be 1. The Texans, Bengals, Raiders, Bills, and Cowboys all have 4 wins. I didn't realize there were all those teams listed as number 6. So that is going to be 1, but the Texans are number 6 on this list with 4 wins.
Oh, Texans, Raiders, Bills, and Cowboys?
And Bengals.
So those are all eliminated then?
Yep.
Good God. And that's 6. Give me I'm going to start picking the expansion teams because 25 years is a long time. The Panthers.
Panthers are not on this list. That is 1 strike, Coop.
Okay. The Titans.
The Titans are not on this list. That is 2 strikes, Coop.
No, that's 3. That's 3 strikes. I'm being honest.
Jets,
I
Carolina,
said the Jets,
Tennessee.
I said the Jets, Panthers, and Titans. I'll come clean here. I'm honest.
3 strikes, which means John Luke, I believe you get first opportunity to steal in the order that we had set. Vinny, Coop, JL.
Can you give me the list of the teams at 6? Because I wrote down 2 of them, but couldn't get them all.
Texans, Bengals, Raiders, Bills, and Cowboys.
Bills
sitting there at
Cowboys.
4 wins at number 6.
Cowboys?
Could have sworn you also
Cowboys?
What?
You did say Bengals. He said it again.
Say Bengals.
Yeah. I'll go with let's go with the Colts.
The Colts are not on this list, so it's gonna come down
I have
Vinny
it.
can name one,
Don't
he
do it,
wins
Vinny.
this game. If Vinny does not name one,
Don't
Coop
you
wins
do
this
it.
game.
It has to be this team because I don't recall them winning more than 2 playoff games. The Washington Redskins / Commanders.
It is Washington with 2 wins, Vinny. You are going to pull out the victory with a steal at the end of the game.
Vinny.
Coop,
What was,
right
where were they at?
for you. They were number 3 with 2 wins.
3.
Bears were number 4.
Oh, I almost guessed Bears. No.
Bears and Dolphins, both with only 3 wins. And then the Chargers were that last one on the list with 5 wins.
I'm so mad.
Yeah.
I switched it Colts.
I don't even know what the Commanders' wins were.
You got the number right. You said I think they got 2. I can't remember them having more than 2, and that's because they've only had 2.
Yeah.
Well, Vinny, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come up here with us. Everybody watching, if you're not doing so already, go and follow our friend Vinny on Twitter. He's on Twitter at Vinny Iyer. That is VINNIEIYER. Truly a great follow. And check out his work over at Sporting News. The link is in his Twitter description. Vinny, always a pleasure getting to hang out with you on a Friday. Enjoy your divisional round games this weekend, my friend.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you guys next week. Thanks a lot.
See you next week.
Appreciate you, Vinny.
Cheers, Vinny.
See ya.
Vinny's doing something crazy this weekend. It's just too crazy. He couldn't even tell us. He's just like,
he's taking acid.
Yeah, he's going to some dubstep concert in like Miami.
He's going to see Snails. Yeah,
Miami.
He's going to go see like some hardcore dubstep.
Ultra. Yeah, he's like, I'm just taking these. It's top secret stuff, dude.
Top secret.
Coming up, our friend Tim is going to join the show to play some Hypothetically, and then we're going to talk through some more of these divisional round matchups. If you enjoy what we're doing here, you should head on over to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy and follow us. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're not missing any of the nonsense we put out over there. We got more games just like the one we just played. Jeopardy, Fantasy Fortune, Poll Perception, all the good stuff. Fantasy Spy. Oh, we got to play some Spy soon. Now that it's the off season, we're going to get some Spy in there.
I love the shorts. The shorts is my favorite thing on the YouTube channel.
We got a new Coop one up there. Some Smudge Peterson. You should go check out the Smudge Peterson.
my favorite shorts are the Coop shorts. Actually, honestly, that's not even true. My favorite short is the Joey Derrick Henry short. Yeah.
Asking questions when he already knew the answer.
We are going to be right back to play some Hypothetically. But right now, you're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Better Sports Network is sponsored by Lucra.
Okay, it is now time for our Lucra app contest of the day. Obviously, we have been telling you about Lucra throughout the last couple of weeks here on the Better Sports Network. What we're talking about is an app that you can download. You sign up, you registered. I was looking at it today because I'm in Missouri, and it's like, well, Missouri doesn't have legalized, excitement of wagering, betting, all that, but you can do Lucra. And the reason you can do it is it's a contest. You challenge a friend, you challenge a buddy, family member, whoever it is, and you can look at that day's events and you can kind of say, okay, I'm going to take this side of the coin. You want to take this side, most points scored or most yards thrown for, whatever you want to do. You can create these contests. Money is put up. Right now, when you sign up, you download the Lucra app, you sign up, you register, use the promo code BSN, and they will throw in a free $5 for you to get rolling. So get that app, use the promo code BSN. You're good to go. Challenge your friends, your family, enemies, whoever you want to challenge, you can do it. Ray and I are challenging each other in our own little contest, and we'll do this throughout the week where we'll kind of say, I'll take this side, you take that side. We are looking specifically, Ray, today at the Cincinnati and Buffalo game. This will be the first game on Sunday. Right now, the money line has Buffalo minus 225, and Cincinnati is at plus 190. So I send you the contest. It pops up in the Lucra app. People will see, oh, so-and-so wants to challenge me. Let's see what he's wanting to play for. So, Ray, we're doing a challenge on the pick'em, the money line here to win straight up. Buffalo, Cincinnati, what side do you have?
I'm taking the side where I'm going to win, and I'm not going to get any money for it. I'm going to take the Bills. It's a tough matchup, right? And there's absolutely a path to success here for the Bengals. I just looked at the Bengals last week, and you mentioned this yesterday. Yeah, like they didn't look sharp. And again, the game flow and the way it went, and okay, but they didn't do much in the second half. They didn't have the ball, but they didn't do much in the second half. They've had a hard time establishing the run of late. More importantly, they've lost multiple offensive linemen, so now there's all kinds of concern, which is the area that they work to strengthen on. We all were excited about the offensive line coming into this season. The season started, the offensive line wasn't very good. We all said, what the hell? They finally figured it out, got rolling. Now the guys are falling away with injury. There are concerns with the Bills that I have expressed with you for weeks now, months now, even with the offense. But it's a home game for the Bills. I think that they're going to pose some problems for the Bengals. And I think that they'll win, but that money line would not make me excited about betting that one specifically, but using Lucra and getting able to play against you, I'm in.
That is our Lucra app contest of the day. Ray's taking the Buffalo side straight up. I'm going with Cincinnati. We'll continue to hit you with some Lucra app contest as we go through the week. And again, reminder, head over to your favorite app store, download it now. LUCRA, by the way, is how you spell that.
Better Sports Network is sponsored by Lucra. Winning is fun, and beating your friends is even better. Download the Lucra app today to challenge your friends and win money.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. We are on Divisional Round Eve, getting ready for the Jags, Chiefs, and the Giants, Eagles. But before we talk some more of these other games that are happening on Sunday, we got our friend Tim joining us up on stage. Tim Wright. Help us do some hypothetically. Tim. How many times have you been around when a Tim chant started? At least 20.
Countless.
Like so many, right?
Say it louder.
Tim.
Wait, do my lights go all the way to your apartment, Tim?
They might. Do you have the Govee lights?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got them.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
I will never not be able to unsee that now.
That is so funny. I just installed them like 2 days ago.
Same.
Tim, that is a fly new shirt you got on. Is that new?
Yeah. So I got it for Christmas, and I know my parents haven't watched. What is it? I Think You Should Leave. But for some reason, my mom's like, I want the most complicated design shirt out there, and that's what she got. So it's very complicated design, very expensive, complicated design.
Very expensive. The more complicated, the more expensive. I just started watching that show. Like I saw enough clips from it where I was like, fine. Like I've laughed at all these clips. I should turn it on. It's funny. It's also hard to watch sometimes. Like it is.
Never seen it.
It is painful.
It's there. There's some clips that I like a lot, but it's the same thing every time. And if you like that, then you're gonna love it.
Scooby-Doo is one of my favorite shows, so I'm not against it.
Because the same thing happens every time in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Okay.
They run around a house, go in and out of some doors, find the bad guy, take his mask off. It was the old grumpy guy the whole time.
Yeah, it's actually Scooby-Doo too, so you're gonna love it.
Have you guys seen that? Was it Mindy Kaling is bringing a show called Velma to HBO, and it's like adult animation?
It's out, and it's has been one of the worst critically reviewed shows of all time. Like not just bad, but like truly like record setting with how bad of a reception it's gotten.
Have you watched it?
I have not watched it. I've seen clips and bits from it, and my biggest complaint with like the clips that I've seen are that like Velma should be kind of like strong and smart and like independent, and she seems very not that in the show. It's not like the show's about Velma, but they like changed who she is as a character to be like not this strong, independent like character in the show. Smart. Like they took away like her intelligence is what it seems like in the show.
And they also turned Scooby-Doo into a woman, like a dog. Like they turned Scooby-Doo into a person, like a human person. So it is no longer a dog; it's a human person.
Interesting.
Which is very curious.
Which I'm so disappointed because I was so excited because I love Mindy Kaling.
Mm-hmm.
I love Scooby-Doo. And I was like, oh, and this looks sick. Like this just looks awesome. A new it's
like adult
revamped for adult Scooby-Doo. But from what I've read, it's just they completely abandoned the source material altogether. And it's nothing like Scooby-Doo. It's just Scooby-Doo characters.
I don't like trusting critics' reviews or
I'm with you.
Really other people's opinions before I watch most things because movies and TVs is just such a, it can hit at different times, right? It can be received so differently by different people. But that is curious that you're saying it's so
well, and
so
not just
1.5.
Like doesn't usually not one of
historically.
It's different to see something that's poorly reviewed and something that is the worst reviewed TV show of all time.
Yeah, so you got my curiosity peaked.
We'll watch an episode this weekend, JL, and then we can come back.
Yeah.
We can come back on Monday with a review.
I think I have to watch. If it was like just okay, I wouldn't watch it. But considering how bad it's supposed to be, I have to now.
Man, it's disappointing that it's that bad. I was excited for it. We'll check it out.
I'm not going in expecting it to be bad.
I've seen clips, which is biasing me. Like I've seen pieces of it on like TikTok and Twitter come through where I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever watch really bad movies on purpose?
Oh yeah, like the
Sci-Fi Channel.
Who are you talking to, Coop?
Coop, all I watch is bad movies on purpose.
The Godfather, Shawshank,
Inception, all the worst movies.
There's a difference between the movies that are meant to be bad, like Sharknado, versus ones that were supposed to be good but are terrible too. Like Battlefield Earth is one of the worst movies
I've ever seen that.
Very bad.
You've seen it, Tim?
I haven't seen it.
It is painfully bad, dude.
Horrible. They ran with the Dutch angle. They're like, Dutch angle. Dutch angle's everywhere. And there's John Travolta trying to be an alien. I think it's like Scientology, right?
John Travolta has dreads.
Yeah.
Like that's all you need to know.
What can't he do?
What can't he do?
Is pull off dreads.
He's so versatile. He can have dreads. He can also be Tracy Turnblad's mother. It doesn't matter. John Travolta, whatever the role is, it literally doesn't matter. Just cast Travolta and he'll make it work.
Just dissolves into the role
every time.
Pro Scientology movie with dreads, and it's about as good as that sounds.
Well, guys, we're about to get into a game we call Hypothetically. This game is one where we're going to be proposed with a hypothetical situation. Maybe a would you rather, maybe a situation that we find ourselves in. Our only job is to overthink the hell out of it and say what we would be doing here. John Luke, I think you got some prompts for us today, right?
I do indeed have some prompts for you guys. Let's get into it. Our first prompt. Would you rather have a belly button where your mouth is or have noses where your toes is?
Oh man.
Do I also have a mouth, or is the belly button in place of the mouth?
In place of the mouth.
Does it eat? Do I have teeth in my belly button now?
No teeth.
Oh.
But you do use it to eat.
Do I just jump on straws? Oh, I just go like that.
I gotta.
You have to set everything up vertically on the table just so you know. It's
like
Birdo's style. It's actually what happened to Birdo, but she's a dirty little dinosaur, and that belly button got stretched out. By all the eggs she's eating.
Probably a crucial question here regarding the belly button mouth. Is it an innie or an outie?
Oh, you know the answer to that. It's an outie.
Oh God. How does stuff even go in?
It's an innie. You can't eat with an outie.
Do I still have my belly button, or is my belly button gone and now on my
still have
face?
your belly button.
Okay.
So it's your belly. You have a innie face, but your belly button's an outie.
Is now an outie.
If
it wasn't before.
Can I speak through this belly button?
Yes.
Only in whistles.
But your speech is definitely impacted by your mouth.
Do I still have a tongue?
I started whistling at the dogs in my house.
So you go.
Your tongue is an umbilical cord.
Oh no. Okay, so let me ask about the toes.
Nose is where your toes is.
Nose is where my toes is. I mean, I'm assuming I could just wear shoes, right? Like all the time if I want.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
So,
do you breathe out of these?
Yep.
Oof.
But you also breathe
out of the one.
nose.
But you still breathe out of the one on your face.
Yes.
Can I drown from my feet now?
Yes.
Oh no.
Now, when I
you can also drown from your belly button mouth.
Oh my God! Just imagine showering and there's water going up your nose all the time. Like you're just every time you breathe in, you're just inhaling water.
If I
sneeze and it comes out of your toes.
You can fully drown through your nose toes, but most of the time, since you have other noses, you have so many noses at this point, 11. It's kind of like more akin. Most of the time, it's more akin to like water going down the wrong pipe. You know what I mean? Like it's just like
almost
really
worse.
uncomfortable.
If I stub my nose toes, do my eyes still get all watery?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, no.
Yes, before you ask me, you have boogers in your nose toes.
My kickball career is over.
Maybe.
Is my smell enhanced by having 10 extra nose toes?
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Here's all I can think
could
about.
Could be good, could be bad.
Socks already get really gross with just my toes in there. Know what I mean? Like a full day of running around playing sports, then you come home, you take your shoes off. Like now imagine the front of those, like it's winter. It's 35 degrees outside. You were playing football with your cousins on Thanksgiving. You come home, you take your shoes off, and not only is there all the sweat from your feet in there, the tips of your socks are crusted, closed with frozen boogers that are in your socks, almost attached to your feet. Oh,
I'm just gonna not do that, Simon.
No,
themselves. But
wear Crocs.
So a counter argument to that is my dog loves smelling my socks, and dogs have really good senses of smell. So that means maybe they don't know what bad smells are. So if I have super smell, then nothing smells bad. You know what I mean?
Or dogs can't talk and tell you how bad it is.
I watched my dog eat poop out there like yesterday. Okay, like I know it's
terrible.
Like.
Why are you making me do this?
I mean, if you do get, well, let me ask the important question. Do you get super smell abilities?
Yeah, your smell is enhanced. As Tim asked, it is enhanced. You don't get super smell abilities. You're not able to you can't smell Simon in Texas.
You're not like fighting crime via smell.
Right. It's mostly just like when someone's eating really smelly food around you, it's going to be way more intense. It's just going to be heightened.
But like you intense. If you could become like a sommelier or like a whiskey connoisseur.
Yeah, you could use it for good potentially.
Oh, you take the glass of wine, throw your foot up on the table, and just stick your toes into a glass of wine, and swirl it around, dip your toe in. I'd be pour it into your belly button mouth.
I'd be sitting, spit it back out.
I'd be sitting back with my feet.
Perfect stream.
I'd be sitting back with my feet up and holding a glass of wine between two of my noses while my other nose smell it, and I'm just like, yes.
Yes.
Welcome to my vineyard. Yes, indeed.
So
vineyard.
Indeed and quite.
I got to go back to the belly button mouth now because I just thought of something. If I let's say hypothetically, shove a ping pong ball through there, can I then be like one of those little guys that you squeeze and a ping pong ball comes flying out like a projectile? Because that's exactly what the belly button feels like. It's going to be like
somebody give this man the Heimlich.
You'd be great with
I think I have my answer.
Yeah, I think I have mine.
I can't have booger socks. It is just too far for me. I can't have frozen booger socks. The belly button mouth, the fact that now I have a projectile weapon attached to it where I can just launch ping pong balls out every time someone gives me the Heimlich.
It's not very strong. It's not very strong gun.
It's nice though, but not like a weapon to hurt people, just like a party trick. I could do the celeb shots at beer pong using that. Just squeeze me and sunk it. 2 cups, baby. I'm going with the belly button mouth, and it's going to be hot. I'm going to own it. It's a new trend. It's going to become the next big thing in plastic surgery.
Everyone's been copying.
I like it.
I was thinking more like that. I would
put food in that. It's not like it's stretchy.
I'd be wearing
eating everything through a straw for the rest of your life,
or just eat really small items of food.
Just everything. You have a machine that turns everything into Skittles. You can put a sandwich in, and it just turns it into little Skittle pellets.
This is my chicken panini.
This is the Skittleizer.
That could be kind of.
Damn it, popcorn!
Should have saved that for
everything's a jelly bean.
Should have saved that for our invention segment because
that's a great idea.
Pretty dope.
I'll start working on the schematic.
Schematic. All right, schematic. Which way are you guys going with this? You going for the belly button where your mouth is, or noses where your toes is?
Yeah, I gotta go with the belly button where my mouth is. You could wear a COVID mask and kind of cover it up, or you could just own it, like Simon said. The one thing with the noses, toes is I would just, having a dog and currently watching Uncle Rudy as well, I would just be living in fear my whole life of that one day where I do step in poop. And then my life is
like Simon.
And then my life is over. So yeah, I'm gonna Not to mention, it's like now I got to take baths instead of showering because it's like now I'm getting water at my nose when I shower. So I have to take a bath with my feet up. Like it's too much work. Give me the belly button face mouth thing, I guess.
Belly button where your mouth is. What about you, Tim?
I'm gonna take the nose toes.
Nose toes.
I like the way it sounds. First off, and second off, if I'm ever at like a birthday party, and I could say I got your nose, and then I throw it into my shoes, that would scare the living hell out of some kid. Like I got your toe, like poof, man, terrifying.
Done.
And slightly super smell. I think that'd be pretty cool. Plus,
It'd be very useful in situations.
if I have a belly button for a mouth, this would just look ridiculous. I'd have to shave every day. Just
It just looks like a hairy belly on your face.
You have a normal goatee. It goes around like your normal human lip, but now your normal human lips are gone. It's replaced by a little circular button. Butthole. Belly button, I meant.
If you was butthole mouth, then it would have been the discussion would have been a lot shorter.
Yeah, everyone would have gone for the butthole.
Absolutely.
Yeah, clearly. A little bit more versatility in that.
Obviously.
Whoa, Freudian slip there.
There's way more things I know how to do with a butthole than with a belly button. Just the list is a lot longer.
Oh, also belly buttons are gross, by the way.
Why don't
That's
you hit
the
us-
final argument.
Absolutely disgusting.
So what's on the list, Simon? I'm just kidding. Let's move on to our next question.
Dustin in the chat said dog also sniff butts, so maybe they like bad smells. It's Tim's point. Yeah, it's a good point.
Well, but Tim's point was that dog, maybe our smelling ability is so lame that we can't appreciate elite smells like butts. That's where you're going, Tim? That's where you're going?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the same thing like the sommeliers identifying earthy notes in wine. The difference is I'm hearing like earthy notes out of the butt with my nose.
Out of the butt.
Exactly the same.
Earthy notes.
Just
out
as
of the
classic.
butt.
Earthy butt notes.
Did you have arugula 2 days ago?
Phenomenal.
You should see your doctor.
The umami flavor in this is just impeccable.
Oh man. All right. Well done, guys. Very well done. Let's get into our next prompt here. Would you rather be able to selectively rewind, pause, or fast forward your life?
Click.
Click.
Click switch.
Oh, there wasn't an or.
I was ready for the next option. Those were the
Sorry,
three
yes,
options.
those are the three options. Yes.
Oh, jeez.
So wait, they were pause, rewind, or fast forward?
Yeah. Would you rather selectively rewind or pause or fast forward your life?
So when
so many options.
When I rewind, it kind of gets rid of all the things the things happen the same once I rewind. Like, so this show, for instance,
You buy a new lottery ticket.
If I rewind,
you do everything the same.
If I do everything the same, everything else will happen the same. Okay, so once I change it, we get.
Oh man, I'm introducing time paradoxes into this.
So you can butterfly effect it if you.
No,
if you
you
do
know what?
different
We're gonna go full Rick and Morty here. You go to a new universe that is as close to this one as possible, but this universe you don't get to come back to this universe.
Yeah, but the things I do will. I mean, naturally, the things I do.
If you do the same exact things and everybody else does the same exact things in that universe, then yes.
Yeah,
same things will happen, but you
why
can't. It's not guaranteed.
If I'm going to do the same things, why would I rewind? So it sounds
That's
like
exactly
if I do rewind and I change things, then it will change what happens around me. Okay, so it is a butterfly effect type situation. Okay.
Man, I'm sitting here. There's benefits to all three. Like there is a positive to all three of these. Now, there's one I think just eliminate early unless someone can convince me, and that's the fast forward one.
Yeah.
Because the thing I am most scared of in all of life is death. And every time I fast forward, the only guarantee with that is I'm getting a little bit closer to my death, with no way of going back. And I'm losing that time. I love life. All my favorite things happen while I'm alive, not fast forwarding. So I want to experience all of them.
I've got something that might unlock a benefit of fast forwarding. I picture jail being like, but you didn't have jury duty the other day, like I did.
That's 100% what I was going to say. We spend way too much time together.
Yeah, I can see it in your face. But I will say, this question might unlock the benefits of fast forward and also hurt rewind and pause. So I imagine that when I rewind, it's going to rewind everybody else. But for myself, especially when I pause or fast forward, like if I pause, do I age while it's paused? Like let's say it's 2023 and I pause it right now.
Hypothetically.
I spend like 5 years with it paused and then I unpause it. Am I 5 years older now, or do I stay the same age the whole time it's paused? Because if that was the case, then you could hypothetically fast forward a little bit at times, like boring times, and just kind of be like, oh, fast forward. But then now you live longer, right? Because like everybody, like, so say like through the boring stuff of life, I have to sit there. The doctor said, sit here for 20 minutes. I fast forward that 20 minutes. I get to keep that 20 minutes. So now I've moved through time, but I'm still, add 20 minutes back on my life at the end some point.
I don't know why, but how I viewed it was fast forward, your body just starts doing all the things that it would have done on its own. Pause, everything pauses, including your aging. It's just at a still, but you can walk around. And then rewind was very much so like the fast forward, just putting you in reverse backwards to what you did, and then you can change it.
So then I would fast forward, and I wouldn't even know what people would be like. Oh, did you hear what I just said? I'd be like, no, I fast forwarded through that.
I wasn't.
There'd be no benefit with the way Simon lays it out. There'd be virtually zero benefit to fast forward,
except skipping jury duty.
Specifically jury duty.
Yeah, we're getting.
So you continue to age. Okay.
Yeah. So I think the way we're gonna play this one out is the way Simon said, because I think the downside of having it where you don't age is that.
I think the easiest way to say this is your age stays consistent with the time that it is in whichever one you pick.
Okay.
If you pause it in 2020, you're the age that you were in 2020. If you fast forward to 2025, you're the age that you would have been in 2025. If you rewind to 1990, you're the age you would have been in 1990. It's just whatever time it is, that's the age you are. And that applies for all of them. Then we don't have to worry about any of the other time situations here. We can just, your age is the year. I mean, you're not 2023, but it's what you would have been in that year.
Wait, so you could accidentally rewind back into being a baby? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you accidentally, oh shoot, I put it on 4X.
Yeah, dang.
Baby's not gonna know how to use how to get back. So
with the pause, that one was the one that I immediately went towards. I know the rewind, you've got all the possibilities of like the get rich quick schemes. Like you see who wins, you go and you place a bet, you do all of this. But the pause, the ability to just take a break whenever I need. Know what I mean? I need a nap. Pause. I'm taking a nap. I want to watch a movie. I can watch a movie. I want to be able to read without like sacrificing other things I want to do during the day. I can pause and I can take care of that. I need to clean the house and I have to leave to drive to Austin to pick up my best friend from the airport with only about 30 minutes to get everything that I didn't do last night done. I can pause and I can clean the house.
Well, little did you guys know that I actually already have that power. Like for instance, I already just paused it just now, took a nap. Just paused it just now. Stole this watch.
Are you the one that farted in my room right now?
Paused it again. Got caught in this finger trap.
Dang.
Paused.
Happens every time.
Farted in your room. I just paused right now. Boom. Now I have sunglasses on.
It's kind of did freeze a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, you actually did freeze and then just show up with sunglasses on the screen for me.
What do you mean? What do you mean I froze? Do I know how to freeze time? Do I know how to freeze myself and continue to talk even while I'm frozen? Yes, I did figure that out. It's when you open another tab while the browser's open.
Oh, that's my boy.
Nice.
So technically, I do have the ability to freeze myself. I can freeze myself making a funny face right now, and I can keep talking during that. Does that make for good radio? I'm not sure.
I feel like each of these is like a cardinal sin or something. Like, what kind of person are you? Is what makes you choose this?
Yeah, which thing speaks to you? To your just cardinal.
You want to cheat?
Procrastinator. Pause. Do you regret a bunch of stuff? Rewind.
Are you overwhelmed? Are you bad at managing your life? Pause.
Anyone that picks fast forward, I feel like it's pretty sad.
It's like
make it over.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
That being said, I pick fast forward. I'm just
kidding. Here's my question. I feel like there's a monkey paw situation with all these, but like I'm just not seeing the downside of pause. Like what's the downside?
What if
you
pause and then you lose the remote?
That'd be dope.
You pause. Oh yeah, and no one else pauses with you. So
I'm telling you right now, dude.
It's like I Am Legend, but
the whole lose
mannequins.
The whole lose the remote thing. I'm not entirely sure how often I'm even going to be on pause. I'm probably gonna be hitting the water park, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but the water's not moving.
The water's paused.
Yeah, everything's paused.
Nobody's
Well,
running
unless
the water.
you
It's
can
still-
make it move.
It's still probably pretty slippery. It's still probably pretty slippery.
It's still water.
Still water, dude. Still water.
Coop's running around the wave pool, just peeing everywhere, just over and over again. His long running prank is for a year. He leaves it paused, and every pee he takes in the wave pool, just on a random summer day. It's 365 days worth of pee, and he just slowly tries to turn the entire thing yellow before he unpauses it for everyone to experience.
And then I know at some point I would accidentally hit on pause while I'm in there and just like,
Oh man. So
Ah.
the downside of pause, Coop, is that eventually you will die.
ugh. Isn't that the
Can't go back.
downside of everything? But okay, so if I get hit by a bus, I could. Yeah, well, if you get hit by a bus, you can't rewind.
You're dead either way.
if you're about to be hit by a bus, but I can always just pause it and walk out of the way.
If you're quick enough.
With the rewind, Joe, you brought up a great point. If you could spend some time setting something up where it was checking your vitals and then would Bluetooth communicate to a device connected to the remote that would hit rewind if your vitals stopped. So like you could have it set up, programmed, where you've got a device that you wear, it checks for a heartbeat, checks your pulse. If it drops below a certain point, it rewinds a little bit for you, and then you're good to go. It's like preparing a spell in Dungeons and Dragons. You can just prepare for it to rewind automatically. Or am I cheating here?
Yeah, too much work. Just fast forward through all that.
Yeah, so one. Can you guys still hear me? No. Am I out?
Now I can.
Can you see me?
No.
Me neither. I'm gone.
I've
It
disappeared.
is me. God.
Did you pause it?
No.
Hey, God, I got some questions for you. One,
Tell
what the
me,
hell
my
kind of
nice
show
one.
is this?
What
Beats
the
me.
heck? What's all that talk about butthole belly button?
Buttholes and belly buttons.
God.
It's like two of my favorite creations.
Will I go to hell if I say butthole on the internet?
Yes.
Oh, shoot.
Rewind it quick.
And that rewind button would sure come in handy right now.
Yeah.
Quick.
All right, let me see if I can fix this. Stall.
I think we've
Instead of talking about what we've been talking about, Cooper immediately just starts singing a song.
Well, they'll just do an elevator music while we wait for jail to get back. Tall and tan and
I feel like we haven't
young
talked about the
and
benefits of
lovely,
rewind
the
to the
girl
extent that we should.
from
You could just
Ipanema
wait to
comes
see who wins the World Series and then rewind and make a bunch of money. You could see who wins the Super Bowl, rewind. and make a
Sure,
bunch of
you
money.
are overwriting all of the memories you made since then. But yeah, if you wish for like Super Bowl, it's like you wait till the night till the game's over, rewind to the beginning of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could also just bet on the games and then pause it and then go out there and just like untie Steph Curry's shoe. You know what I mean?
That's like a really good point.
You know, like I could fix these games pretty easily. I think it would be.
I do have a question with the pause. The
Uh-huh.
people driving their cars, when I pause, the car is mechanical and their foot will still be on the pedal most likely. Do the cars keep going because they're paused in that position, or do the cars pause as well?
We'll say cars pause as well.
Okay, because I don't want to cause
avoid
if there's
massive
airplanes in the sky, they just
Yeah.
like stay still.
Yeah.
They
No,
just,
you don't
like,
want to be
float.
like
They don't plummet
just
to the earth.
murdering thousands
Every
of
time you
people every time
pause
you
it.
pause. That would really be a downside of the pause.
Imagine if jail was like, well, you finally figured out what the downside was, and then none of us could pick pause.
You'd be such a good villain, though, if you do that. You just go to the White House or whatever and just demand a bunch of stuff and say, if you don't do this, just watch. I'm going to do this. And then bad stuff is going to happen everywhere. And then it's going to be like nothing happened. And then you're going to read the news.
You're just sitting at home, you have the remote in your back pocket, you accidentally sit on it, and you just look at it, and you're like, oh no.
Why is the TV stopped?
Oh no, I just killed thousands of people.
Every
great villain
airplane
with
that's in
most
the
of
air
these.
just falls to the ground, just plummets to the earth all at once.
Greenhouse gas emissions drop because nobody flies.
That's
You have
true.
no idea when life will be paused.
That
All right,
being
guys.
said, I'm taking pause. I want that reprieve in the middle of my day. I want to be able to take that time for myself, whatever it is that I want to do or need to do. Because sometimes I got a habit of not doing the things I need to do until it's urgent. Like there is 3 minutes left.
Yeah, you guys saw my shirt. After last night's Celtics game, I already told myself that I'm just gonna pick pause and just mess with Steph Curry. like not just on the court, but like at his house. You know what I mean? Just like he goes to like take the milk out, and he's like holding it kind of like like this. And I'm just go pause it, loosen the cap, so that it just spills all over him, dude. So yeah,
he's gonna be so mad. Why does this keep happening?
Or like he's throwing something in a garbage can and you just pause it midair and move the trajectory slightly to the right, so he starts getting in his head.
Like, Kobe,
don't have it. So he lost his touch. Yeah.
The first ever 0-0 basketball game.
Go out there. Go out there with a ladder.
His hands.
Yeah. Go out there with a ladder and just move the basketball ever so slightly every time.
Yeah, like goaltend every time he shoots. Move your ladder over.
And just watch Steph Curry lose his mind. Yeah, of all the things that I could do with these powers, that's exactly what I would do.
All right,
so messing with Steph Curry.
You're pausing.
That's Steph Curry. Yep.
Pause. The double pause. What about you, Tim?
I'll go rewind. I like the rewind. I want to become a detective, do some research, and find out who had my dog before she got so scared of humans, and then I'm going to go back and rewind and take her out of that place and save the day.
Hell yeah.
You're an angel.
Pull down their pants on the way out.
Yeah, punch him in the nut.
You go all the way. You go all the way back.
You pause. I'm gonna rewind, and then you pause.
You go all the way back in time, and you're like, all right, I think this is the day, and you see your dog there, and then around the corner comes a dude in a Golden State jersey, and he's wearing number 30, and you're like, oh my god, it was Steph Curry the whole time. He was the one that messed with your dog.
It's full circle.
Then it makes sense that we all did it. I figured, Tim. I figured you were going to find some roundabout way to pick fast forward. That's usually.
No, I was trying. Fast forward just doesn't.
It's too hard.
There's nothing. I cannot think of a single thing that would make it work.
That isn't.
Yeah,
lame.
that one is more of a
maybe fast forward through the winter. That'd be pretty cool.
What the right term is, but some people they'd rather skip some of those less fun parts of their life.
Before we move on, what other buttons on the remote could be cool to have?
Subtitles.
Oh my God, yes. That's Simon. That's on my list of inventions.
Traveling would be
closed captioning for real life.
Have we just become so old that like I see it all the time? People are loving subtitles. There's just like a flip of the switch. What?
Tim, it happened to me. I was so anti-subtitle, and then about a year and a half ago, now I do not want to watch a TV show.
How do you watch anything? I can't look at it without reading it, and then you don't see it.
I can't even
sense. You can't move your eye like a tiny bit.
I get what Tim's saying. Like, sometimes I catch myself reading instead of watching, but it's nice for me because sometimes I don't hear, and then I want to be able to. I can just be like, "Oh, he said butthole." Yeah.
I don't think any of my watching experiences, unless I'm at like a movie theater, are as like I'm not as attentive. I'm not like fully immersed, only watching it anyway. So for me, it's just it helps track what's happening. If I can't hear what they're saying.
You're ADD. You have to force yourself to. I find myself like if I watch like foreign films, I have to pay attention. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Like anime or something like that.
Or if I watch a Christopher Nolan, film, I can't understand what the hell is going on because the sound effects are so crazy loud and the dialogue is like, yeah, we gotta get to the basic.
Or any British show, they talk so fast and they say like so many things in such a short amount of words that closed captioning is amazing.
Letterkenny on hard mode is if you've never watched Letterkenny, turn it on with no subtitles for the first full episode and just go for it. You get used to it after an episode, but at first you're just like, what the hell are they saying?
I'm not sure if you guys ever watched Peaky Blinders, but Tom Hardy's character, it just talks in straight gibberish.
Yeah, it's impossible. You miss so much.
Yeah, but does reading it help?
No. We got
it's for the ramblings of a British man.
You know what that means?
Yeah, when you read it and it's like
fish, two fish. What the hell are you talking about?
You miss the context clues because you don't see it. And they're like, well, what does a jibberty doody mean? Like, I don't know.
Because you get to see it. I didn't see Tom's eyebrows. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
We got Ryan in the chat saying, "Sup, boys?
What up, Ryan?
Go Giants!" And who do you want to win? Who do you guys want to win? So we talked about earlier. We did talk about who we think will win. Who do you want to win? The Giants, Eagles.
I want the Eagles to win. I really like Brian Dable, and this is not a team I'm cheering against. I just also really like Jalen Hurts, and I would like to see them win another game. They've had a great season. It would be cool to see them go at least one more round, and then it's going to be tough picking them in that next round.
JL, you are contractually obligated to pick the Giants, I believe.
I am going to pick the Giants, contract or not, contractually or not, because I like chaos, and I want the chaos.
It's not going to be. It's just going to make the Niners have the easiest game ever.
You mean the Cowboys?
Maybe.
Whoa. I want the Eagles to win because I think that they're a more fun team to watch, and I don't care of these two teams. I truly don't. So I like to watch Jalen Hurts. He's electric.
Tim, who do you want to win?
These are in my top 5 probably least favorite fan bases. These are both up there, so I don't particularly care. But if I want a better team to go on, I think the better team is the Eagles. So let AJ Brown go. I want to see him get far.
Fire him.
AJ Brown.
Where do the Patriots rank among your least favorite fan bases? Number 1?
Actually, no, they're number 2. Steelers. Sorry.
Steelers. Wow. The Jets in the top 5 anywhere?
Nah, they're not worth my time.
Not worth my time.
That's true.
All right, guys. I have one more would you rather for you.
Let's do it.
Willing.
Pause. All right, back.
You've been challenged in prime time, nationally televised broadcast, 1v1 competition. Everyone, and I mean everyone, will see this broadcast. It'll become a cultural phenomenon similar to William Hung or the butt fumble. Would you rather?
Doesn't sound good.
Would you rather go against Aaron Rodgers in chess or Daniel Jones in competitive tomato eating or Cole Beasley in a rap battle?
Let me ask a question first as somebody who has very recently eaten a tomato on this show, a whole tomato like an apple. What are the parameters of this tomato eating contest?
Eat as many as you can.
It's volume. That's what I was going to ask. Is it a race to finish a tomato, or is it the amount of tomatoes you can eat in a specific
How
amount
much
of time?
time? How much time?
A solid 30 minutes.
No,
30 minutes.
That's
holy cow.
30 minutes.
And you know Daniel Jones, without even thinking, can just eat 40 tomatoes.
Yeah, he smiles and he's got tomato seeds. In there.
He's not even aware you're in a competition.
Yeah.
He's just like, this is the best day of my life.
He's like, oh, are these not heirloom tomatoes?
They bring him out onto the field and he's just like, no word said, he just starts eating tomatoes.
No, Daniel, it hasn't started yet. Huh?
At the beginning of every game, they take him off the street because he's actually gone undercover as like a tomato salesman, rolling out a cart in classic cartoon mode.
Moving mass tomato weight.
Yeah.
That's how he works out in the off season, just pushing a tomato cart around.
Tomato dealer.
Now the rap battle. Is there a given beat? Is there no beat in the background, or is your opponent serving your beat for you?
The beat is Cole Beasley 80 stings. So he's got the flow on lock.
This is DJ. This is DJ picking it up, but you don't know it ahead of time. Can't practice.
Okay, cool. I know as long as it's not Cole Beasley doing the beatboxing live for me while I'm trying to do it, then I'm good. And then the other
sabotage you.
The other one was Aaron Rodgers in chess.
Yeah.
The beat goes like this. It's like boom, boom, ba-da, boom, 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 ba-da, boom. So you want to rap on that?
Absolutely not.
Are you more or less confident in that option now?
Now here's a question. Does Aaron Rodgers know the rules of chess, or is he just going to pretend to know the rules of chess? Because I know he's not going to admit he doesn't know them.
Do we have to play by the rules?
You do have to play. I mean, you do have to play by the rules. Whether he knows it or not, you don't know.
Here's what I'm imagining that situation playing out as. Aaron Rodgers walks out with all of the arrogance in the world going into this game. He's telling me about the last time he read Atlas Shrugged, and it really upped his chess game. You wouldn't believe the knowledge one could gain from reading Ayn Rand. So he goes out there, sits down across from me. He's just trying to tell me all about Atlas Shrugged the entire time we're playing. I keep having to remind him, like, no, the rooks don't move like that. No, the rooks don't move like that. Then you got to protect your king, Aaron. He's like, and the whole time he's being dismissive. He's like, I know how to play chess. I know how to play chess. Like, not once does he say, oh, thanks. We get towards the end, and he realizes he's going to lose.
Touchdowns have you thrown?
And I think Aaron Rodgers, full on, little kid style, rage quit, unplug the console, flips the chessboard in the middle of the game. I think that
slides it off the table.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers will let me beat him in chess. And then that humiliation goes on him. He's the one who's sitting out there humiliated.
When you have like a high level chess game, like I'm sure this has never happened, but what happens if you do try and like do a move that's not allowed? Do the judges come in and they're just like, hey,
they walk up slowly to you, they check the clock thing, and then they slap you.
Yeah, turns into slap fighting.
Like, what even does happen though? Like, if I were to just like do an illegal
I just
move,
told you.
No, in real life though, I kind of want to know.
just told you.
They slap you?
Me? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would love to see that then.
He's exaggerating a little bit. It's a backhand. It's not a forehand slap.
Well, they have to take the white glove off first, and then
True. Forgot about those steps.
And then for your second offense, they take whichever piece you moved incorrectly and they shove it in your belly button mouth.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
At which case, I give Simon the Heimlich and shoot it across at his opponent.
And there's
hit Aaron Rodgers in the forehead.
That's how you defeat him.
Yeah.
Checkmate.
Credits roll.
Now I gotta ask.
Everybody's confused.
With these events, how much warning do I get? Like, is it one of those things where like I show up for this event and then they're like, "Here's what we're doing," or do I know for like a couple days, like, "Oh, I got to rap battle Cole Beasley in a couple days, so let me get some bars together," or like, "I got to play chess for Sam Rodgers, let me play some practice matches," or tomatoes. You know, you kind of.
You get 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Oh, that's all. That is, even if you gave me 2 weeks, all I would have used was 30 minutes. We talked about this with the pause button issue. So that is plenty of time for me. That doesn't change my answer.
30 minutes, yeah. I mean, nothing prepares me for the tomatoes. You could give me as much time. It's not like I'm going to practice by eating them. I think they're gross.
So for this rap battle, I may lose, but you're saying I have a platform to send a message to everybody on the planet, right? That's really powerful.
It is true. In any of these options, you have that. That is the same.
Chess is a gentleman's sport. There's not much talking in chess, and if my mouth is stuffed, I can't send a message. So
you just got slapped. It's gonna be hard to talk.
I'm tough. And I know the rules of chess, so it's not gonna matter.
Dustin said, "Does Rodgers play normal chess, or does he have his own made-up rules? He's going to break out in the middle of it, like the queen gives birth and there's a pawn swarm."
If he's playing that, I would absolutely dominate him. If you're trying to tell me that his imagination is more than mine in a game of chess, you're wrong. I'm going to dominate. So that would be an easy answer.
What I'm imagining, I don't know if you guys have seen this episode of Adventure Time where they play, what's Card Wars, I think it's called. It's like a little board game. And Jake's just like making up things. He's like, "Oh, I move my corn man to attack your sleeping willow."
It's a good game.
All right, guys, what do you think?
I think for the chess game, I'm not even. It's going to be a game of attrition, I think, because you have the timer. This is going to be obviously a well-regulated match. I imagine ESPN announcers. Actually, no, ESPN ain't the Ocho announcers. I want them to reprise their roles for this chess match. But I'm just going to make my first turn, and then I'm going to trick Aaron Rodgers into going into a meditative state. I think
How are you going to do that?
He's dumb. I'll figure it out. He's going to try and meditate on his move, and I'm just going to let it happen. He's just going to run out of time, and it's going to be such a boring match. I'm just going to sit there and watch him just meditate like Aaron Rodgers would. And that's easy.
What are you going to use the platform? What message are you going to get across?
That's what I'll use.
I love how you asked the question without anything in mind of how to use it.
I'll use the 30 minutes of prep time for that.
The Aaron Rodgers one is tempting, but I think I'm rap battling Cole Beasley out there. There's nothing more fun than like really insulting someone who deserves it. Know what I mean? Because not many people actually deserve it. Most people, like even people that you think are assholes or are mean, like with empathy, you can like determine their situation and where they're standing. I have little to no empathy for the multimillionaire acting like a jackass publicly and putting people's lives in danger with his medical advice. So I will go out there and just with no qualms in my system in front of the entire world, even if I'm bad at rapping, just roast the absolute hell out of Cole Beasley. And it's going to feel good. And I think,
what's your one-liner? What's your mic
that's
drop?
What the 30 minutes before are for, is right now one-liner.
I would just jump up there, dude. I'd be like, "Come and get some, Mr. Cole Beasley. I'm Harry Potter. You're just Ron Weasley. I'm going to beat you up, and I'm going to do it so easily. Do this for fun. I got the skills. I got the style. I got the thrills. Send your ass running up for the hills or crawling through the mud back to the Bills."
Oh.
Are they laughing at him or with him?
Hard to tell. Tough to tell. I think they took that entire segment for Coop to write that one down.
Then they would be like, all right, go eat some tomatoes.
Missing a tooth, get out the booth.
He's missing a tooth.
I can't, every time I see his face missing the tooth, it gets me. All right, so you're taking the rap battle, Simon. Cooper, you taking the rap battle?
Yeah, I'll take the rap battle.
All right,
give me
battles
30
and
minutes.
a chess match between Aaron Rodgers and Tim. I like it. Well done, boys.
Yeehaw!
Yeah.
We got Dr. Squanch in the chat. What's up, Dr.
What up?
Squanch? Said
Doc
Card
Squanch.
Wars had 2 phone games that slapped, grinded those games like crazy.
Heck yeah.
I don't know Card Wars. I did play a chess
Card
phone app for a
My
while
friends
called
played them.
Chaos Chess. Did you guys ever play that?
No.
It just
Sounds
randomized
fun.
all the pieces in random places, and you just would start a game. Go.
That's pretty cool.
So they're not in the same place. It was fun. It was a little bit puzzly because we got some games this weekend that we haven't talked about yet. On Sunday, the Cincinnati Bengals going to Buffalo to play the Buffalo Bills. They're 5.5-point dogs, and the Cowboys playing the 49ers on Sunday night, 6:31 p.m. Eastern time. 3.5-point underdogs are the Cowboys. Tim, I wanted to ask you this Cowboys 49ers matchup. Are you buying into Brock Purdy and what we've seen from him so far? Do you think this dude's the real deal, or are we just waiting for those rookie wheels to fall off?
I mean, he's gotten very lucky. Some of those throws last week were dicey that just happened to work out. So I think that is coming. Dallas defense, it's been pretty hit or miss over the season, but it seems like they pulled it together a little bit here in the back end. So I think you might see a turnover here, but the Niners are just so good. I can't. There's nothing I could say about them that would. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is for the most part. I think he's done well enough. Debo back, Kittle looking good, Ayuk looking good, McCaffrey looking good. The defense is just stupidly good. I don't know how you beat them. I don't.
Tim, to your point about the quarterbacks, Brock Purdy has the second highest expected completion rate based on how the passes are of any quarterback that threw over 100 passes this year. You know who's number one?
Tua?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh,
the
Jimmy
other
G.
quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers is number one in expected completion percentage. This offense sets their quarterbacks up for success for sure. That's not a takeaway from Brock Purdy.
Oh, no.
He's still got to go out there and execute, but he's in maybe the most quarterback-friendly offense in the NFL.
Tim makes a great point that so the way it kind of works with these playoff teams is that the better teams, if they just execute, they'll win, right? And that's where coaching comes in, where teams that have great coaches, they're ready for everything. So if they just execute, you're not going to beat them. And when they do make mistakes, you have to take advantage of them. The Seahawks had multiple passes that they should have intercepted. And that was the difference in the game. I mean, that's what would have made it a game. It wasn't even a game because they didn't pick those off, but you have to take advantage of everything and then get lucky, right? So if the 49ers take care of business, they'll win. But I mean, if there's any team that can make Brock Purdy actually pay, it's this one, because they have the guys that create those interceptions, that create those fumbles, create havoc. You know what I mean? Parsons, obviously Trevon Diggs can not only pick it off, but take it back to the house. So I think this is a good match, as good of a matchup as you're going to get. But the 49ers, if they just play their game, then it's going to be tough, because
it's not just the Niners on that. And I mean, Dak has been incredible at throwing interceptions this season. So
God, yeah,
I would not expect it. I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple takeaways going the other way. I think if the turnover battle, I think Dallas has to win that maybe +2 in order to make this a game. The Niners, they take away 1, they win this battle by 1. I think it's ship sailed.
I mean, the Jaguars showed us you can lose the turnover battle 5-5 and still win the game.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Not likely,
isn't
but
it?
again,
4 interceptions and a fumble, and they still pull out the win. God, the Chargers. That sucks. Sorry, Chargers.
only the Chargers, man. Only the Chargers.
Sorry, Charlie.
That's so
the
bad.
Falcons of the AFC.
I wonder how often that's happened, that a team has had 5 turnovers in one.
I think they said that was the only time in the playoffs that's ever happened, if I remember correctly. I don't know about in the regular season.
It still has to be pretty rare. I mean, I feel like a 5 interception game is we rarely see that.
Yeah, it does boil down to turnover differential. So the Chargers are turning the ball over too. So that does bring it back a little bit.
Snip, snap, snip, snap. Yeah, I think the defense, the Dallas defense they're fine. They're fine. They're above average, but not by a ton. So I think this is going to be a good game. Coop, I like that you picked this as your favorite game for this weekend because I think it could be one of the more exciting games out of this group of 4.
Right. And it's a game where the reason I think it's my favorite is that like there's so much to learn from it. Like we're not going to learn anything new about the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are. It's
going to either be like a fluky game, or exactly what we expect.
Right. But this one, we're going to learn, is Brock Purdy the man? We're going to learn
how big are his balls.
How big are they? This Cowboys, they've built the Cowboys have built the team they've always wanted to build. Is this enough? Right? Like, because they finally have good defense. They have
never enough. Never.
So very interesting to see what happens here.
Down in Dallas, Jerry Jones is going to be pissed.
Jerry Jones.
I just want to be in a room with Jerry Jones when the Cowboys lose. I feel like his anger reactions would be so funny. God dang it! Like, I feel like he's just like so animated and turns into like a caricature of an angry Southern man from like the olden days.
He's mad, but he can't actually say any real words.
Is that like Yosemite Sam? Kind of
exactly.
I do picture him just like, turn into whoever, because he always has like celebrities up in the booth with him too. Just turn into like Post Malone, whoever's there with him, and just like beating him with a cowboy hat. Like, golly.
Yosemite Sam. Jerry Jones's Yosemite Sam is now the
pulls out his double revolvers and starts shooting at the ground. That's hilarious.
He elevates himself off the ground with his guns. God dang it!
Jerry, you can't shoot in here anymore. We told you.
Victor said Jerry Jones becomes Phillip Rivers when he's mad. It just immediately turns into Phillip Rivers. Oh my God. What do you think makes more mad? Losing in the playoffs or an Egg McMuffin with no salt?
Inedible to Mr. Jones.
Yeah. He hates wasting those Egg McMuffins.
Yeah. He'd probably take that. I mean, he's only had like 2 Dallas Cowboys playoff wins in the last 25 years anyways.
Brutal.
I think it's 4 is what it was at, or 3 actually.
Whoopsies.
Whoops. Dale, who do you think is going to win this game?
I think the 49ers are going to win.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Brock's big balls make at least one more appearance in the postseason this year.
Nope, Dallas Cowboys.
I know you think the Cowboys. You think the Cowboys are going all the way and taking home the shit, right?
I think them dang Cowboys going to win that whoopty bowl.
What does Jerry Jones turn into when they win the Super Bowl? Yosemite Sam again?
The same thing. It's the same exact thing. It's the same celebration, and it's just gibberish. He's like, God dang it. Yeah. He's still hitting. He's still hitting Post Malone with the hat, but he's got a smile on his face. He's like, yeah, Posty, we done did it.
You can always tell his mood by what the angle of his revolvers are.
Yeah. Are they going up versus down?
Up or down.
Yeah.
It's a little more danger when he's happy. You got to watch out. Guys, that is going to be it for us today. Everyone, enjoy your divisional round playoffs, but stick around here on BSN until this weekend for some more awesome content. Campus to Canton is going to be live tonight at 7 Eastern for some college football talk. They're talking futures, Deion Sanders, and all the most recent news. You're going to tune into that at 7 p.m. Eastern. Right after this, we've got Moose and Keith, followed by Lunch Money presented by Fantasy Guru, then Corey Nando and friends right after that. It is going to be it for us today, guys, though. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday morning at 7 a.m.
Go Jags.
Adios, everyone.
Go Jags. Let's go.